I don't. And I think it's good that somebody can be brave.
All right. Hello. Welcome. No more talk of insects, please. Erased from our memories.
For now.
To episode 7 of Who Are the Monsters? This will be a... Does that mean we have 11 episodes? I can't count. 7, 8...
Well, because we're missing one?
We're missing next week, I imagine.
Missing 2, so that makes 10 episodes total. And this is 7, that means we have 3 left? Oh, yo!
Yeah.
That's so much better than I thought.
That makes life so much easier.
That's exciting. Okay, thanks for mathing with me, everyone. As always, my name is Bianca Zelda, your game master, keeper. I was actually reading the instructions for this game, and turns out my name is a keeper. So that was really interesting for me to learn. Shannon, how are you doing today? Oh, she. Oh,
doing all right. Yeah.
Hear me, okay.
Well, until I froze, I was doing all right. So, is that any better?
Yes. I don't know if it's you or the audio.
Okay. I don't know either. Oh man, this was going so well until we hit start.
As it does.
It's always the way.
Horrendous reason.
Oh.
No worries. If you want to press some buttons, we can.
I jinxed it by sending you guys a picture of a bug.
That's what it was. That's what did it. You've been cursed.
Karma back to you. Yep. There's consequences for your actions.
Okay, just a sec. Let me see if I can kick everything else off the internet and free up some bandwidth or something.
No worries. Press those buttons. We will move around the imaginary table. Norman, how are you doing today?
You know, I'm doing really good today.
I'm happy we all get to meet a hatless Norman. It's new. It's nice.
I should have worn my Skyrim beanie.
Ooh.
I would have supported that as well. We've got, a few more episodes to go. There's time.
Yeah. Next session.
Yes. So tell me about your character a little bit. What is his name, class, and weapon?
So, the name is Killian Wild. He is a mad scientist, and he has a one-handed poison axe that he constructed himself one day out of, when messing around with R&D during his internships. So, yeah, because when you're working in the scientific guild, they really want you to kind of be well-rounded, even though you do have a specific degrees in whatever field you're in. They want you to be everywhere. So he really kind of took into the whole weapon side of R&D, just made like a ton of crazy prototype weapons, but the axe is his baby.
I like that. Have you had any opportunities thus far in the game to use the axe? And how did that go? Because I don't remember.
So far I've only used it to threaten Eledhwen's fling. That's about it.
That's so good. This is like a cool weapon. It's just like, well, it's mostly decorative.
Yeah, for now it's decorative. I'm hoping soon or eventually. I really did miss my chance when we were fighting the giant tentacle monster to have used it.
Didn't you use it in episode 1 at some point? Or no?
No, not even
For
then.
some reason I thought you did.
I think
you're right.
At best to use it just to cut down vines.
Yeah, I do. That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is sharp enough to be usable.
Yeah, it's just that whenever I push a small button, you'll see like a bunch of holes open up around the blade to seep out the poison. So then when I cut you, not only are you going to be bleeding, but you're also going to be slowly dying if that initial cut doesn't go through.
Perfect. Very on brand for you.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm here for multiple murders.
Miriam, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
I'm happy that you have at least one cat in your background, but there's currently no cat on the table. Is there 2 in there? Or just the one?
Yeah, just the one. The other one's sitting on my spot in the couch.
Aw, keeping it warm for you.
Oh yeah, and I was I think this afternoon I was gonna go sit down, and he was about to also sit there, and then he hunkered down. I was like,
Yeah. You you concede when that happens.
yeah.
Oh, I love it. So tell me your character's name, their class, and weapons that they enjoy using.
Okay, so I play Faryad the Summoned, who is essentially a child-sized golem-looking figure. And the weapons that you have mostly seen so far tends to be either improvised weapons, like, you know, the local flora, or or they like to have a battering ram. They do have some other tools that we haven't seen yet, like a pudding catapult.
I want to say we saw once. Oh, that might have been Smudge's beetle cannon.
Yeah, I think that was Smudge's beetle cannon. I don't think I actually brought out the pudding catapult yet.
We'll have to look for opportunities for that then.
Oh, that might just happen while we're checking out this new place, because right now Faryad's like instinct is to probably burn the whole thing to the ground. Children are being sacrificed, or at least that's what it looks like. But we'll see how it goes.
Fair. Carly, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
I like your map of the world in the background.
Thanks. I have like this big tapestry. I've had it for the past couple apartments, and I really love it.
Travels well.
Yeah. But yeah, I play Gwen. She's the expert. She is going through her continual existential crisis that she's gone through the past 3 or 4 episodes. It hasn't stopped because I think like the last at least 2 episodes were like one day, weren't they? Yeah, so it's all just happened in that one day.
Processing so much.
It's a lot. She's on the back of a turtle right now, just like, oh my gosh.
Hanging out with Killian.
Yeah, oh my god.
See how that ends.
I like to think that at one point I just stopped talking.
I probably don't even notice because I'm just zoned out so hard.
Yeah, like I was like,
you were deep in
let her be
your fanfic that you were reading. Or,
oh yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
it was just some private smut. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't fanfic. Who knows?
Erotic literature.
But I'm curious, Gwen. What is your weapon? Because it hasn't come up, and I want everybody to have a chance to at least discuss.
Yeah. So she has a rapier that she was gifted to by her parents when she made it, I guess, into the initiation group for the monster hunting guild. And it definitely looks more decorative than like a real weapon. I think she's only used it the one time to run through a bobcat. But yeah, she has it. She's okay with it. It can be used.
I'm happy that it's at least it's been used.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of actual effectiveness.
Yeah, I mean,
up for debate.
If she could get into a cool duel like Princess Bride style, that would be the best use of it, I think. Where she doesn't have to stab, she can just like I
don't even know where I would find something.
Nowhere. I promise you, nowhere.
Okay. Sorry, I've got to fix a couple audio things. Devin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty great.
I didn't even see you put your hat back on, but it's back. It's a look. It works.
I've had this hat for almost 10 years now. So.
I feel like you mentioned that before, and it was such an unreal statement that you've never, like, if you've lost it, it's returned? Like, that's crazy. 10 years?
Much, yeah.
I don't have dogs that are that old. Like, there's still a chance.
I don't have much that's that old, for sure.
Right?
Oh, I think I have a hat that's like maybe 10 or 12 years old, but I never wear it. So that's probably the reason why it's still around.
Okay, we should be good. So tell me your character's name, his class, and a little bit about his weapon, which I think out of everyone has seen the most use.
Yeah, I'd say so. So I am Eledhwen Mirayakawa. Itil sila lumenum in dielvo. He is the divine of the group, being a holy paladin of the great lady Sehenian Moonbow, a prestigious member of the Church of the Radiant and Transformed Domain, Sehenian of the Lendore Isles, which is what every time he introduces himself is the whole thing. And his weapon is the Ithil Kawa Wandil, which is essentially a giant, or rather tall, quarterstaff with a half-moon blade at one end, and it is inscribed with various religious symbols of various phases of the moon, and bows, and stars, and things like that. And it's kind of his everything. Like, he's kind of latched all of his confidence into that weapon, so it means a lot to him, and it's probably why it gets used so much, is because he just considers it an extension of his own body. So whenever he tries to do something, it's just natural to use the staff.
I really like that. And I don't even have to ask you, when have you used it? Because it's more of a question of when haven't you? Perfect. Shannon, have you had any success pressing buttons?
I think so. I've switched to a new server, so hopefully that's a little better.
It started off a little
I don't think it is.
No, not really.
You just froze in a very graceful position.
We might.
Try to say that one more time, please. Or maybe type it. I'm so sorry.
We might be.
Did anybody get that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I just heard we might be, and that's about it.
Yeah.
She'll type it out.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no, I hope we don't lose.
Better now?
Yeah.
Later?
Eh.
I mean, the good news is everybody split up, so we have time to figure it out.
True.
That's true. I think it's the two pint-sized people in one place and everyone else.
Well, me and Killian, and then Eledhwen and children.
Yes.
So wacky portal journeys.
I want to point out that
Portals.
statement still does not sound wrong. It still sounds so wrong.
I love
A lad went with the children. So, that phrase.
Holy man with the children.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah.
There was a
All right.
He's babysitting.
I mean, there is a Catholic joke in there that it's just not going to work out so well.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Yeah. We're just going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
Okay. Internet's being wonky over here now, too. Great.
Oh no.
Oh.
Interwebs. Why are you being like this?
Okay.
Just rude.
We're good, I think. Shannon, you're moving and not freezing.
Okay,
Yeah?
maybe. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That
far so
fixes it.
good.
Ah, thankfully. Okay.
Yay. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I think I'm good.
Excellent. Tell me about your character, his class, and any weapons? Any weapons.
Yeah. So Smudge is a little green goblin, and he is the chosen of Sehenian. Although what that means has yet to be revealed. Dum dum dum. And he's got two weapons that he kind of goes back and forth on. The first is his bug bomb, as he calls it, which is a little clay ball full of carnivorous mutant beetles that come out, that when it hits someone or something, explodes, and the beetles start eating them alive, which is pretty cool and also kind of gross.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's also got two very ragged, rusty monster daggers that he keeps hidden about him. And likes to very suddenly stab people with when they get out of control.
Have we seen him use these daggers before? And I'm thinking really hard.
Twice.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You shanked your
Uncle.
goblin acquaintance?
My uncle, yeah.
Yeah, your uncle. Oh goodness.
And she threatened and
And threatened
was
Killian.
threatened. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so that's a thing.
Right. Okay, they've gotten plenty of years.
Yep.
Your bug bomb. I'm thinking. So if I did mix up Faryad's weapon with yours, so you've used your bug bomb at least once, then, right?
I used it in the very first fight.
Okay.
And haven't had a whole lot of chance to do so since then. But have ideas for how it could be deployed.
Didn't you also use it to appease that giant fish monster?
Oh, that's right, I did, yeah. I opened it up and offered the bugs a sacrifice.
Oh, that's so smart.
That was very smart because we were screwed.
Well, considering I decided to clap my hands while I had 4 frogs attached to me.
At least you weren't drowning.
That's fair. Eledhwen's no good, terrible, very bad day.
Oh, goodness, yeah. That seems like his every day. But
Yeah. Poor guy.
moving on. Wow, okay, so we have so many points at which we can start this session. However, to appease the curious, I'm thinking Eledhwen. You... Poor turtle.
Poor turtle.
Sorry. I'm just thinking about the turtles. You emerge through the other side of this portal, drenched and gasping for air. The 2 children stumble off of the turtle and hit the ground and tumble into, I guess, dirt. Just like the ground has been covered in dirt, as most ground
As it is, yeah.
Yeah. It is dark all around you, which, due to the current state of affairs, is the norm.
Finally.
But you are inside and enclosed in general darkness. Darkness you can see through.
I think the
We'll
first
get
thing
advanced
I'm gonna
darkness
do
like this.
is try really hard not to throw up from the nauseousness of going through a portal.
It did not feel good. Those 2 kids are most likely throwing up.
I hate portals.
Oh,
You
the
two
voices.
alright?
Fuck. I just want to see my mom. Please, can you take me home?
Ah, yes. Is the turtle here?
Yeah, the turtle's just chilling. Y'all rolled off of the turtle, and it's hanging out.
On
Taking
land?
up a
Like,
lot
it's
of
just
space.
Flapping around on the land? Is that?
Yeah, like I can
Okay.
breathe fine.
Well, yeah, but it's no longer in water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, flippity flapping a bit, but mostly comfortable. It's almost like it's done this before.
So looking around with my dark vision, is there anything that I notice in my immediate vicinity?
You're in a wide room, that's got a rather low ceiling. There's the portal behind you,
Still there,
and
okay.
a door on the far end. There's like a little table by the door where there's a candle, but that is about it.
Is it a lit candle or a non-lit candle?
Unlit.
Okay.
Gnome girl is crying quietly behind you.
Yeah, no doubt. Alright. Now we were the turtle led us through this portal, right? Or was it more of we were pulled through?
Turtle led you through the portal, which is why it's
Strange.
calmly
Trying
hanging
to
out.
do this.
It's a
Yeah,
route.
okay. That's what I figured. Okay. I'm going to place my keen elven ear against the door. See if I can hear anything on the other side.
What do you hear with your elven ears?
I love it. Shit, I didn't think about this far. What did I write? God dang, I wrote that it was a basement. I know what. You don't really hear much. You hear the sound of rain outside, but it's distant. No voices, no footsteps, no background sound.
You said this was a wooden door, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I see a lock or padlock or anything? Or?
It's not locked. Just like a twisty door handle.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to the two children. Wait here with the turtle.
Are you gonna get my mom? I'm tough. I can go with you.
I'm not going far. I just want to see what's on the other side of this door.
You know what? I'm gonna guard the turtle. And he flexes. I will be the best protector.
Yes, you can be my honorary squire.
I can be your You never even ask my name.
I know your name. It's Boy.
Wow. I am so excited to... You can read minds. I definitely want to be your squire.
Eledhwen's digging this. He's like, you know what? It's been a hell of a week. I'm just gonna take this in. This is nice.
Is it?
This is nice.
Positive validation.
Positive reinforcement. All right. I like this kid. Yes. So I'm going to carefully and slowly gonna open this door, peek out with my elven eyes.
I don't know if we can rhyme anything with elven eyes.
Galvanized?
Oh, I was gonna say that too.
It's good. The door handle, because you thought beforehand to turn it slowly, it only creaks softly. It's not that gross kind of metal against metal creaking you would otherwise hear. Outside of this doorway is a relatively long hallway with a staircase that leads up, and beyond that doorway, it's light on the other side, and you can definitely see through the outline of the door, and maybe through the cracks of it, it's just wood, the illumination of something on the other side.
Is the illumination just like a fixed solid light, or is it kind of flickering?
Flickering.
So it's like a fire. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still not outside then. All right. I will. Honestly, I'm not going to be very quiet. Wearing armor. Just gonna echo and stairs haven't been very good to me.
I like this is a real concern. There's not a lot of them. It's the equivalent of 2 flights, but in like a straight.
Okay. I mean that's.
I guess that's a decent amount.
That's a significant fall.
Oh.
Whatever. Screw it. So I'm just gonna make sure I've got my one deal at the ready, and just as best as I can ascend. I'm gonna ascend the stairs, but I'm gonna walk on the left side, staying as close to the wall as I can, so that if there's any sort of weird loose stones or possible cracks or any creaks that might happen, there's a less chance of it being on the side.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, give me an act under pressure.
Can do. It's a 6, so not a great start.
Okay, so as I told you, I was reading the actual manual. For so much like in D&D, for like I can give inspiration, I can give plus forward based on certain scenes. I'm not super inspired in this, but like I know that I can do this now, which is nice. But there's also, benefits to failing. You are able to ascend the stairs, but you are unable to be as quiet as you wanted. It's inevitable. You know how you walk in your armor, and you know how to shift your weight to minimize the sound, but nonetheless, there is still the clacking and
Yeah.
the grating of plates.
Stealth's not my thing. I'm more of a barge in and arrest everyone kind of guy.
But you are able to make it to the top of the stairs, and there is the flickering is still beyond the other side.
All right. Well, once again, I will see if I can hear anything beyond the wooden door. Wood's a good conductor of sound.
Nothing. No, you don't hear anything again.
Okay.
Fire sound, like
Well, yeah, like a roaring
fireplace.
kind of fireplace.
Fire
Yeah,
sounds,
okay.
yeah.
A little crackling. Okay. I will once I open the door same way as I did the earlier one, carefully. But I'm gonna have my staff kind of ready to go, just in case something is right behind that door. Because if there was, they'd probably hurt me.
Inside the room, there is a figure lounging in a chair in front of the fire. There's a handful of doors that kind of circle the room. But other than that, it's empty. There's tables, rugs. It is a well-lived-in space. You get the appearance that it's a space where people travel through a lot.
It's like a foyer.
Yeah, I like that word.
Okay. And the figure you said lounging, is that facing towards me or towards the fire?
Towards the fire. Back,
Okay.
chair back to you.
Okay. How much else? I don't really have many options here, so I guess I will just storm in. I'm throwing stealth out the window.
No, that's fine.
I will call out. Hello. Is anyone here?
The figure tilts off the chair a little bit, and you recognize it immediately as Chai. And she looks at you kind of confused. I heard all the noise down the stairs, but I didn't expect it was going to be you. Why? Have you seen Blue?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is he joining you? And she kind of looks around your shoulder.
No. He was waylaid.
Oh, that's odd. I know not a lot happens there. I mean, I'm not allowed to go there. I can just hang out here. Haven't got permission. And she waves her hands around. But yeah, sure, Eledhwen, I didn't know you were involved in all of this. Cool, you're involved in guild stuff, church stuff, and creepy stuff. You're a busy man.
I make it my business to get involved with creepy things.
Huh. Okay. Do you need me to go water the turtles? I love turtles. I've been volunteering. That's mostly why I convinced Blue to get the job, was for the turtles. I mean, she said that there was other reasons, but I'm convinced it was just for the turtles.
Okay. Where would you be getting this water from?
Outside. It's been raining for the past, I don't know, a little while now, so we just have some buckets outside and we're collecting them.
Yes, you go do that. That would be excellent.
Okay, yeah, I'll be right back. She steps out one of the doors.
As soon as she's out that door, I'm gonna book it back down. All right, you two, we gotta go. We must make haste out of this building.
Boy, yeah, okay, whatever you say. Night, sir. Let's go.
Grab the gnome.
Come on, gnome. Poor child. And they awkwardly clamber onto the back of the turtle. Turtle's been pretty, I want to say monotone, stoic. I don't know enough adjectives that describe real turtle moods. This one is chill as far as turtles go. Yeah, and the kids around the turtle, what would you like to do?
Alright, passageway is not big enough for the turtle, I'm assuming.
No.
So we can either go back through the portal, which is pointless, or we can just go and run up the stairs. I mean, I don't want to hurt the turtle. It's fine. We'll leave the turtle alone.
Thank you.
It's got no part in this. It's just doing what it's being told. Let's run up the stairs and then go through a door that Chai did not go through.
Okay.
Because you said there was a bunch of them, right?
Yeah. 6.
Would I be able to potentially maybe listen for which one the rain is coming from the loudest?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if that's an act. You know what? That is an act under pressure because you're waiting for Chai to return, and I want to see like how quickly you can deduce like rain sounds. That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume the one she went through definitely leads out. I just don't want to go that way. That's a 7.
There are 2 doors with mats in the front, opposite sides of the same wall, like opposite sides of the same wall. If that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, they both have mats. Both are kind of drippy and covered in rain. And you know the one on the left is the one that Chai took, and the one on the right is up to you.
We're gonna go through the right door.
Okay. Only because I think Miriam had posted it. So Boy will kind of like hoist Gnome on top of his shoulders. They're very comfortable with this. They drape a cloak over her, and it's just like it's easier for them to travel that way. And they follow you out door number 2. Outside, the rain cascades down. It's a rainfall on... The skies have been dark for so long, you didn't know if it was rain, smoke, or just general darkness. But the way the rain is coming out now, a part of you wants to believe that they were just rain clouds, and this is fine. But somehow the intensity of it all seems a little off. However, outside, you are... kind of like there's like the guild itself is built by many different buildings, so you are off towards like a side building that is still attached to the main part of the guild.
Okay. Do we know where I guess if she's the chair, one of the chairs of the guild, you mean Boy's mother?
You quieted like mid-sentence.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was kind of mumbling. The boy's mother would most likely be in the main building, since she's kind of important.
Yep.
Okay. Which I'm assuming is the big one.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Can we tell like what time of day it is? Is it?
No.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
dark. Dark o'clock.
I didn't think so. At least I'm not getting a sunburn again.
Yeah, right? Positives.
Yeah. I'm. You know what? So far, this adventure has been quite nice.
You're welcome.
So yeah, we're gonna head to that large building as inconspicuously as possible, as you can with a boy with a gnome on his back, a gleaming elf in armor.
Shannon, what is your favorite fruit? You are muted.
Strawberries. Definitely strawberries.
Yeah, you're able to like you have to travel around the green, I guess, to get to the front entrance. And the only person outside is a hulking-looking individual who you've seen in passing a lot. You know that he goes by the name of either Barry or Mr. Straw. And he is the only person to observe you and the tiny-headed, oblong-shaped individual walking next to you.
This burly man's name is Strawberry.
It is Barry.
And
Sorry.
That's great. No, that's much more intimidating. Mr. Straw? I don't want to mess with someone named Mr. Straw.
Especially if they're the last one.
So I recognize him because he's... Well, yeah. I recognize him because he's with the guild?
Yes.
Okay.
They were there for your guild ceremony. They've always been around and passing, but they've never approached any of you. Just you've seen them interact with like Blue and Shy before.
Yeah, I don't like this guy. Okay. So he's seen us, but he's doing like the standard, like leaning against.
Totally. Arms crossed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do we have to pass him?
Mm-hmm. He's hanging out in front of the entrance. There's like an overhang, so he's not getting wet. I don't believe in smoking in my universe, so he's not smoking cigarettes, but like he can still look intimidating.
You got a toothpick.
Yes, perfect. Like, a piece of straw.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's the one.
Just munching on a piece of straw.
Mm-hmm. Always has a piece of straw in his mouth.
So if I fight him, that's the first thing I'm going for. All right. I'm gonna grip the staff and kind of ease my body into a defensive position that's very, very subtle.
Okay.
There's really not much of a difference between that and your standard kind of walking, but it allows me to have reflexes a little quicker, just in case.
I like that. No, that makes sense. It's like you're squaring your feet a little bit more, like you're planting. Like
Yeah, movement's more deliberate rather than just kind of absent-mindedly walking. It's every fall is actually an intended. And I'm gonna try and just walk past him.
Okay. I would like an act under pressure, and I'm going to roll it as well for the kids. These kids are acting under a lot of pressure. Dang.
They do well?
6 and a 2. Yeah, they got an 8.
Okay. I got a 9.
Nice. So the two of you, I should say,
Yes.
are able to walk past Mr. Straw. He does eye you, that stereotypical kind of mean mug. As you enter, and the doors, I don't know if I'd describe the doors. I'm gonna decide what they are right now. I thought they were large. They have to be openable. They're just like really nice, regular, beautiful French doors. So when Eledhwen pushes one door open, the kids have a hard time adjusting with your stutter step because you didn't continue the pace that you had. And they walk into you. However, you are all inside before the kids tumble. And it just sounds like a lot of cries and grunts and limbs being...
Yeah, that's not suspicious.
And the door slams behind you, and we are going to pause. Gwen and Killian, you have been on this turtle. I almost said boat.
Turtle boat.
Turtle boat. For long enough for Killian to at least read the love letter that Chai wrote.
We're still doing that.
It turns out they're turtle submarines.
Surprise. You finished reading it, and Gwen has spent the better part of that time just kind of staring off. But the turtles haven't, you've directed them. I believe this was the one that Faryad had communicated with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this one was under more direct outside orders. So it is swimming about. It's swimming. How are you two doing?
Tired.
Yeah,
I'm so tired.
We've had a long day. At best, it was just a highlight of me getting the blackmail material for me to work in later on.
I'm not even paying attention. I'm just like, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
you do you, man.
That's all for me. But eventually, I'm gonna be like, Gwen. I think at some point, I'm gonna just call her her nickname, but like, hey, Gwenny. Can you?
Don't call me that. What do you want?
We're here.
We're here.
Where
Yes,
was the
we're
turtle
here.
going again? I already forgot.
I think it was just going back to I think we told it we wanted to go back to the main island. Yeah.
It's gonna take some time.
Yeah, it's gonna take a long time.
You are
Where are we?
farthest away? Let me see if I have a map. Didn't expect this.
Fair enough. We're still in the middle of the ocean, probably.
Be leaving from the opposite side of the island.
Oh yeah, we had to go all the way around the island and down.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I've got about a day's. I'm just at least half a day's of turtle travel.
Cool.
Turtle speed isn't. It's consistent, but like it's lazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Would there have been a way I could like speed up this turtle to like go a little bit faster?
What are you thinking? Once again,
Don't hurt the turtle. I'll be mad.
Calm down, Gwenny. I'm not gonna hurt the damn turtle. If anything, I want to use creature psychology to try to see if it can, like, speed up the process. Try to convince it, or like, can we go a little bit faster?
Creature psychology?
Yeah, so it says here that you have a special understanding of minions and how they think. You can attempt to manipulate someone on minions, regardless of whether they would normally respond to or even understand human speech. When you do, roll plus weird instead of plus charm. Yeah.
Give it a shot. Reread this though, because I'm so confused.
2 + 1 + 2, that is a 5.
Ouch.
What does this look like?
So I like to think that I'm gonna just like pet it and be like, "Hey, buddy, I'm gonna need you to like speed this up a bit. We're kind of, or I like to mentally think that we're kind of on a mental deadline. So I would like for us to like get to the mainland as fast as possible. Who knows what Eledhwen's doing with those children, and I'm concerned for their safety."
Do we assume he's still behind us? We must. Otherwise, we probably would have done something about it.
I mean, you
I don't know.
Back and not see him.
Yeah, like I'm facing forward. I'm holding the reins. Yeah.
Was this the one with the leather reins? The
Yeah.
rain,
Yeah.
It needed rain and it got rains. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, it does not even roll its eyes. It's just
So
happy turtling along.
I got nothing then. Gwen, any ideas?
No, I think just being patient is fine. Sometimes you have to do that,
Yeah, we might as well just take this in for now, I guess, and we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you've taken in a lot this week, I guess.
Yeah. Has it? I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Do you really want to keep this going?
Keep what going?
You being in the Monster Hunter Guild, do you really want to keep this going knowing what we're going through right now? Like, literally our first thing was just dealing with the apocalypse.
I mean, I don't really have a choice.
I like to think that we all have choices.
Family business, though. It's like, I don't know. If I dropped out, I can't even imagine. I'd probably be disowned. It's not worth it.
Look, listen. I've been disowned by my dad about 3 times already. You've known it. I know it.
Your relationship
can get past
slightly different than my parents now.
Yeah, true. But listen, you do great work. At least you have merits on that. And I'm pretty sure in Grey Matter we can take you in and find some sort of position for you that's well above your pay grade anyway, over at my son's house.
I mean, what kind? I mean, I don't want to experiment on anybody. That's not what I do. Not my thing.
Well, that's my thing.
Yeah,
there's
it's not great.
Listen, I get results. At best, you'd be doing something else. Maybe doing something like what my mom did before she passed, which was learning how to use environmental growth. Work with plants or dealing with the weather patterns and how we can use that to our benefit. It doesn't have to be straight, hey, I'm gonna fuse a dog with a little girl. We're not going.
Oh my god!
We're not going.
What are you talking about? You did not do that.
I didn't do that. Some people that I know
Killian.
have done that. Look.
Named Ed.
Yeah, I know. I was
Sorry,
like,
no, it was the
okay.
doctor, but
Hi, FMA.
No, but listen, I'm just saying that you don't have to be in the Monster Hunters Guild because I gotta say I'm pretty impressed for how much you're handling this, but I'm starting to see the cracks. So if you don't want to do this, you know, I'm not saying hey, don't do the
No, I know.
profession.
I appreciate the offer, and I will sincerely think about it. But I mean, this is what I've worked for literally my entire life. Like, it's all I've been focused on for ever. And I don't know. It's hard to go against that, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, that is true, but you know, there are sometimes we might not be happy about this profession. You know, I did this to like get my dad off my back. If anything, I'd be in my lab this whole entire time. But
I know.
you know, not only that, I figured this would be like a good way to keep ourselves out of troubles. And boy, has that failed for both of us.
I don't know. Part of me always assumed I could kind of pay my dues and then figure out some way to be an archivist or something for them, you know? Just like work in the library or...
I mean, you can do that too.
I know.
Hell, you can even keep track of our books over at Grey Matter as well. It'd be fine either way. You don't have to be, hey, let's go kill monsters, especially, like I said earlier, you're kind of
I did it.
Pressure.
I killed a cat thing. It was really sad. I didn't like it.
Well, that is true, and I'm very proud of you. But
I did it.
Yeah, but like growing up, you were pretty pacifistic about everything. If anything, there were those times with the bullies that I had to handle it, and I'm scrawny as fuck.
I was never bullied. What are you talking about? I was great. I handled it all.
Yeah, because I didn't pay like 2 of those bullies off back then. Yeah, we're gonna just like drudge that up about her bullying and how I just had to quietly either threaten these guys or I had to like pay these guys off just to like get her off the bat because they didn't like how overly smart she was achieving.
You didn't have to do that.
I know, but it's like, come on, you was there when my mom died, and I'm always gonna be there for anything else. So it's like it's kind of like this trade-off that we have.
I know. Thank you.
It's no problem.
Some time has passed as you two converse and try to kind of sort out your own feelings in this chaos. And off in the distance, you see a patrol boat with a figure on the front waving like a maniac.
I wave back.
Same. I do the same thing. I wave back. I try to scream ship ahoy or whatever as loud as I could.
Okay, yeah, the boat definitely notices you, and the waving figure kind of runs back and forth a little bit. You see like them doing their best, and like as you get closer, like as soon as she sees you wave, like that super sets her off. The patrol boat approaches. Do you rein in your turtle, or
yeah,
the turtle will just keep going?
Yeah, pull it back a little bit.
All right, so I'm gonna pull back on the turtle as much as I can.
Okay, it's slow to react, but it does. And you pull up next to a Lendore, just patrol boat. On the ship, there's about 5. Wouldn't be city watch. Should be like city boat people?
Life Coast Guard.
Yeah, the Coast Guard, I guess.
Coast Guard. Lendore Coast Guard. It's a small group of like 10 people.
Cool.
But at the prow of the boat is Ingrid, and as soon as she sees Killian, oh my goodness, I can't believe I found you. It's been so long. Killian, Mr. Wild, I'm so sorry. I should never even called you that, but it's been a really long time. We had no tabs on you, and nobody had any idea what was happening. We just, like, I saw your boat, and then I got some messages, and I had to guess, and we've been sending boats up for such a long time. I'm so happy I found you. Do you want to come up, sorry, sir, do you want to come aboard? And she kind of...
Yes. I'm just going to go with yes. I'm tired. I am wet. And I need, for the love of God, please tell me you either have booze or coffee on this ship. Both me and my friend need it.
Tea?
Well, and as Ingrid tries to continue to speak, the head Coast Guard, big burly woman with like a really cool hat, brushes
My dream woman.
Ingrid aside, and like one foot on like something, so she's doing the Captain Morgan pose.
Yes, I love her.
Didn't this happen on your podcast at some point? Like just trying to be cool to get the
pirate women female character. Yeah, they're great.
Okay.
So good.
Are you Killian Wilde?
Well, yes, I am. May I ask who am I speaking to?
Oh, fuck. Gwen, what is your favorite?
You done goof now.
What's something I haven't used much? If anybody has any names they would like to offer, I'm a big fan of objects, just they're easier for me to remember.
Sure.
How about Miss Bull?
Room like it's gonna do anything. Rose?
Rose Bull.
There you go.
Rose.
And I'm drinking rosé cider, so this is beautiful.
Perfect.
Should put a little bit of Red Bull in there.
Rose Bull.
Thanks.
No, don't do that.
Hands on her hips. My name's Captain Rose Bull. And then she jumps down onto your turtle. And
God.
with one, like, she reaches into her pocket and slaps on some handcuffs on Killian.
God damn it.
Mr. Wilde, you are under arrest for the murder of many, many guild members. I don't even know where to start this list.
What are you talking about? He's been with me. What? Nothing has happened.
If you wanted to put on cuffs, you could have asked. My safe word's green,
Jesus. Stop talking. What is happening? Who are you talking about? What guild members?
I don't. If you want to join me at my cabin, I have all the documents there.
Yes, please. That would be great. Great.
I just get on the boat. I didn't do shit. As you said, I was been with you this whole entire time.
I know you have. I'll figure it out.
Thank you, because
why I'm here. I bail you out of shit all the time.
Because listen, I do things behind the scenes. You do things in front of the scenes.
I talk good.
It's how we work. Yes, you talk good.
Ingrid is wide-eyed, a little teary-eyed too. She whispers to you as you kind of like cross the gangplank over. I'm so sorry.
Did you know?
I got you a new desk. What the fuck?
I get a corner desk with the window.
This is how you repay me?
You're fucking fired. Bullshit.
Oh goodness. Yeah, you are led onto the brig.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like the jail. Yeah.
That's a thing on spaceships, so it must be a thing on real ships.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, excellent. Yes.
Cell.
Yeah.
We've used the word holding cell a lot. I was hoping for
Brig
some...
is great.
Yeah, nautical terms.
Nautical terms is brig.
Yeah.
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
And Gwen, you are brought to the cabin, which is super small. There's enough room for like a cot, a desk, a chair, and just like crap on the floor.
Okay. Cool.
Quick question. When they threw me into the brig, did they take off my handcuffs or did they just leave them on?
You're still wearing the handcuffs. But like nobody's really. There is one person sitting on a chair. But they're also doing a lot of origami, so they're not hyper focused.
Amazing.
How sturdy is this? How sturdy is the door, basically?
Sturdy.
All right.
Metal bars, probably.
I like to think that maybe I could have, like, I don't know, broken myself out and Shanghai to do a mutiny on the boat. But if it's sturdy, I'm not going to do that.
Let me do my stuff first, and then we'll talk about your plan.
Yeah. Go ahead and handle this. But just know I have a backup plan.
Okay.
The backup plan is to set it all on fire. Don't
Yep.
worry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't let him
I'm
Back
a
on our
fan.
turtle and run. What did they do with their turtle? Just set it free?
I'm
Where's
gonna
the
be super
turtle?
pissed off.
It's still chilling. It never left.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
stopped.
cool.
Okay. Can I attach the reins to our boat so it can kind of tug along?
I think you
Just
can
in
ask like a mate to do that.
A matey?
A first matey, yeah.
Sure. I
Don't
will.
pay
I'll
for
definitely will.
don't pay for validating. It's a
Won't
ripoff.
pay for valet, don't worry. Yeah, I'll ask them to do that for me if they could just tie the leather reins somewhere where that it can swim alongside us.
Yeah, they're happy to do it. They've dealt with these turtles in passing before, that they're not
Right.
like uncomfortable with them.
Cool.
Um,
And
yeah.
oh, and then I was gonna say, and then I'll follow the captain.
Rose Bull leads you to her cabin. She like awkwardly like tries to like pull out the chair, but there's just like,
I can stand. I've been sitting a long time. Don't worry about it.
oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
No worries. I get it.
Yeah, so I have, and she starts shuffling through some papers. She pulls out one paper, then two paper, and then like it just kind of like she's taking a couple out, but like it's mostly becomes a stack of papers.
Oh God.
Okay, here is what I was given by the City Watch. I believe they received their information from the guild itself. I heard that you were all hired around the time of the murders. Like, as far as this case goes, he's guilty as heck.
Let me take a look. Can I like read through them?
Absolutely. Let's
Cool.
read a bad situation.
Cool. Okay, that's a 10 without me adding anything.
I'm playing my harmonica, singing like jailhouse songs.
Bless. Hold on, let me see what else I need to add. Is it sharp? Read a bad situation.
Yes.
Great. So then that's 13.
Nice. Oh, look at you putting all those points into sharp.
Yep.
All right. Well, that gives you 3 questions and an outside question.
Okay.
And I should move this over.
Let me take a look.
Your traditional questions are, what's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What is the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what is the best way to protect the victims?
I would start, I guess, what's the best way to protect the victims, meaning Killian, would be one of my first questions.
You get a feel that this is very neatly orchestrated.
Mm-hmm.
But there are slip-ups. So the best way to protect Killian would be to ensure that he does not go to jail.
Okay, cool. Great. I guess the other ones, let's see.
I'm gonna start getting tattoos all over my body that knows the outside layer and inside layer of the prison.
Get at least one anchor tattoo.
Yeah, you need
one
the anchor and one that says mom with a big heart.
Yeah.
I guess one of my
Do that.
questions would be, I'm trying to see, I think I'm looking at it like, what is the biggest threat, but meaning like, can I figure out who put this together? Or is it just the generic Monster Hunter Guild put this together?
That's what it's been assembled as.
Okay.
There are no names.
Sure.
Like, there are signatures from everybody on the... I want to say, like...
Is Jamila?
There's a
Jamila's.
council as well, like a town council, and Jamila, sits on that. Ivory sits on that, like a lot of the prominent figureheads. And the council had to approve this to be like, yeah, he's a murderer, go get him. So it's been
Cool job.
reviewed
Cool.
by all these folks.
Cool. And then I guess my other question, I don't know, I'll let you decide if it's like actually relevant, but like, who was it and what are they saying happened, kind of a thing?
It was that damn harpy lady.
Right?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm gonna.
is she on there?
Well, okay, I'm trying to remember
she
episode
did.
1.
Yeah.
Well, she did because Faryad just turned into paste.
That wasn't even you, I know.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I'm
God
still
damn it.
waiting.
So I'm thinking on the list of victims, there was Blue and Shy, which is...
And we know they're not dead.
sense. Yeah. Everybody's seen them. And the still was approved. There is the Harpy Lady. I don't know if we ever gave her a real name.
She did have a name, but I forgot.
It was important.
Actually,
What was
I might
it?
have it written down.
Valentina.
Was it?
I was gonna say my notebook's buried.
Yeah, it was Cantina.
Cantina, you're right. You're right.
Who came up with? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's all you. That's all you, bro.
That was all you.
Making names. Yeah, silly me.
I like your method better.
Thank you. Yeah, and there's a handful of other names, guild members that Gwen you recognize. Some are tenured folk, some are retired folk.
Are my parents on there?
There is
Either
a
of them?
Vissen, but it's
Okay.
it's a first name that you're like, I don't know who this is.
It's some distant relative. Okay. Who knows? Someone I don't actually know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, I guess if I recognize that Blue, at least at the very least, if I recognized Blue was on there, I would be like, Blue is not dead. I just saw Blue like a couple hours ago.
Rose crosses her arms. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not the law in this regard. I just get people and bring them places.
Cool. I totally understand. You're just the messenger. You're doing your job. I totally get that. Who gave who do I need to talk to about this?
The city councilor.
Great. Okay. Cool. Can I have these and just keep reading them over more in depth? Is there any other documents I can take a look at the moment until he tells me otherwise? I'm his counsel, so I would love to just see all of the legal documentation you have.
Yeah, sure. And she starts to rummage around under the bed, in the bed, papers everywhere.
Great. I'll just take the whole stack and I'll go sit down by Killian in the cell in the brig, outside, and just read through them and write notes and
Perfect.
debunk.
You gotta believe me, I didn't do this.
I know.
I'm too pretty for jail.
You all have one more action or reaction before we shift the scene.
Cool. Yeah, I'll tell him who they're saying he killed and be like, this is bullshit. So.
Well, luckily we found the children, and hopefully if Ed does his job, they're already taking it to, God damn it,
Wait,
Jamila.
wasn't he behind us?
Listen, listen, at this point, Gwen, focus on me. I do not care right now. What I want to...
No, but I do, because this could be bad for us.
No, it can't, because at least I know he's the better fighter out of all of us, so I like to think that he'll punch his way through to Jamila, and then once that happens, I get my free favor, so either way, I can still use this to my advantage.
I told them I was your lawyer. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're
great.
I know you're super fucking smart, so you can actually
I got
help.
you.
But
do what I can.
Just in case, I've already have so many favors racked up with so many people right now. I'm
Legit
good.
question. You did ask Jamila. It was what can I offer you? And was your thing a favor?
Yeah, one favor, an undisclosed favor.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's true. That's true.
Was that offered to everybody, or was that only for Killian?
Not just for me.
Yeah, I think he bargained it. I think she was going to give us money, maybe. So, I don't know.
I didn't want her money. I just wanted a free favor of the head of a monster guild. That's
Just
more.
to know.
That's more for me. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, ponder on that then.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, perfect. And we will close the scene with Gwen sitting on the floor, shuffling through papers, and Killian with his back against the cell, probably twiddling his thumbs. While the person on the only chair is awkwardly trying not to make eye contact with anybody because he doesn't really know you, and he just wants to when you were a kid, you made those you opened it this way, you opened
Dream
it
catchers?
that way.
Fortune tellers.
Fortune tellers.
Yeah.
He keeps making fortune tellers, nervously hoping somebody will ask him to read it, but
I won't do that. I'm busy.
they're a little weird. It's fine. Faryad and Smudge. You saw your friends depart on the turtles, hopeful and positive, and you two turned your back and reascended the stairs that led you back into the depth of this life tree. Inside, I believe it was just a small room with 2 pairs of shoes. I don't know whose shoes they were, but I remember saying that. Blue shoes, yeah. And there wasn't much else in this.
What size were they? Were they like children sized or like adult sized?
They were size 8, and I gave them to the boy so he wouldn't have to wear socks.
Yes!
Oh yeah, you gave the shoes away.
So there are no more shoes. Oh, you're so wonderful. Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's a relatively empty room, and the air beyond you seems still and quiet.
So we're investigating this thing?
Yeah. I need to make sure that, or rather confirm what I think it is before I do something, because this is not good.
What do you think it is? I just know that they had me in a little room and they were waiting for us to say that we're ready.
We found out that the Chosen are fed to the Idrisil, I think. Was that what it was called? Idrisil? To Idrisil, or this tree of life or something of that sort.
They fed them to the tree?
I think so. That's what was said. I'm not sure. I haven't actually witnessed it. I don't want to witness it, but I also want to make sure that that is or isn't the case before this place goes down. Because if to continue living they're using children, then they all deserve to get what's coming to them.
I'm all about that. So, all right, shall we sneak in and see what we can find?
Yeah.
There were 3 rooms that you had all passed when you exited. 3 rooms of note. There was... Where did my notes go? The altar room.
Which one was the sparkly room?
The waterfall room. I think that's the closest to you at the moment.
Yeah, let's go check out the sparkly room.
Faryad, can I ask you a personal question?
Okay.
Do you smell? Like, do you have a sense of smell? Can you smell other things?
I guess I can. I mean, as far as I know, I have senses like all of you. I just am not affected by them as much as others.
Can you smell me coming?
Probably.
Oh, that's not very good for sneaking.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've noticed most mortals seem to like imagining that someone else broke wind and blame it on them.
This is true. The big ones are really weird about smells and keep calling them bad.
Especially they like blaming animals.
Dogs. They like blaming dogs. So, okay. Can I ask you another personal question?
Sure.
How are you made? Like, were you born, or did someone make you and like sculpt you?
No one's ever really asked me this question.
Do you know?
I can tell you what I perceived.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool.
And you notice Faryad is sort of pausing and thinking, like really, if there were gears that were turning, you would see them turning. And Faryad says, all I know was that when I had my senses, I saw a child before me who was pleading for someone to help them. And so I helped them.
What does pleading mean?
Asking.
Oh, okay. So So all you know is that a child was asking you for help.
Yeah,
Where's the kid now?
they're no longer of this world.
Oh, yeah, I know how that goes. Does that mean that you haven't, like, were they your clan?
What is a clan?
A clan is like a group of little ones who get together and we protect each other and teach each other how to steal and stab, and we take advantage of the big ones so that they don't take advantage of us.
I guess so. I mean, the details are actually very fuzzy. I thought it was some other place, but this place keeps bringing up really odd memories.
Hmm.
I thought it was somewhere in the world, but now I'm not sure whether it was somewhere in the world. It
Or
might have even been one of these rooms.
like the sparkly water room.
Maybe, I don't know. I remember a child pleading for someone to save them, and then I appeared in their image or in their size,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to help them, but it was already too late.
Mm. Can I ask one more question?
Okay.
You are
So,
close to the waterfall. You hear the sound of water.
Yeah.
so, you know how I have Priscilla, my bug, and I make bombs out of her babies?
Not exactly, but
Well, I have a bug named Priscilla. Here she is, and I show Priscilla. And I make bugs out of her babies by wrapping them in clay. But the thing is, I'm out of bug bombs, and I don't know where else to get clay. Could I maybe have just like a tiny bit of your clay? Would that be okay, please?
and Faryad pauses, sort of this awkward moment, and then sort of just pulls a part of their arm off and hands it to you.
Oh, did that hurt?
No?
Essentially. Whoa! Yep. Whoa! Thank you. That's a wow. And Smudge.
No one's ever asked me before.
Well, that's
Oh my gosh, he's Clayface.
well. That's. Does it grow back? Like, you gave it to me, but will it grow back if I take it?
It grew back, like it was sort of almost like putty where it pulled off a chunk and it's still my hand, but now there's also this extra.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
And as I get there, I'd make like 2 or 3 bug bombs and chuck them in various pockets.
Okay.
Oh. You are super cool, Faryad. I like you a lot.
Thank you. I
Yay!
like you too.
As you've kind of pocketed your last couple of bug bombs and the two of you are speaking jovially, that sound of rushing water kind of encompasses all of your senses, and the room with all of the reflections were like, because it's the way I envisioned it. The ground is a blue marble, and it dips down to reveal like a nice blue pool. Over top there is a hole in the wall where water is gushing through. It's just like it feeds into itself. It's empty, like in terms of adornment, beyond the reflection of the water, which the walls are geometrical. What is a term? The walls are textured. They're pointy. Wall terms.
Stalactite, stalagmite.
But on the walls that you would face, and it's an
Spikes?
aesthetic adornment. Yeah. So like
Popcorn.
Sure,
There's
we'll
something
go with that. I've seen ceilings with popcorn, like the
Yeah.
popcorn ceiling. Like it's like a
Where they're
70s
kinda-
thing.
Yeah.
You touch that, or if you were a kid and you hit your head on that, you'd get like little stuff. Yeah.
It would just like
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah. Anywho, it's the point of the wall is that it has enough of a surface that it reflects the water back, and it just makes the whole room this beautiful kind of serene scene. However, there
Holographic.
is a woman sitting on the edge of the water with her feet dipped in the water and her back to you.
Are we sneaking at this point?
Mhm.
Yeah, we're sneaking.
Faryad, there's someone in there. Can we tell anything about who it is?
Faryad recognizes the figure as the only other person that they've met in this entire tree, other than Blue, who is laying down on the ground somewhere and hopefully
In some broom
doing
closet.
well. Did we drag them somewhere?
I think we did.
Oh my gosh.
Before we put them out of sight because we were concerned about getting caught while we were fleeing.
Yep. I remember. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Blue is living their best life. You, Faryad, recognize the figure as the woman you had interacted with previously.
Oh, I recognize her. She was the one who said that the Chosen were fed to the tree.
Which is weird because she fed me bugs. But maybe she was fattening me up for the tree. I don't know. What do we do? How do we handle this one?
I could always knock her out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can play in the, well, I don't know. Well, what would we do next? Or we could just sneak past her, or we could, I don't know.
If we want to go check this place out, we either have to wait until she goes away, or we knock her out, or we come back when she's not there.
I like the knock her out plan. Let's do that.
Okay.
I need 2 act under pressures. However, I'm going to invoke a disadvantage, which means you have a -1, simply because, so, Smudge, you just articulated how badly you smell. Like,
Can I go why so serious by saying, let's do the Blue special?
sure.
So you get a +1, which negates the -1.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, which is good. Because
so I rolled a 12 on the dice.
Nice.
and I had a total of 7 -1 +1, so 7.
So that's a 13.
Okay. I haven't made a lot of hard moves in this game, but this is going to be one of them. I'm super excited. So, Faryad, you are able to. So, what does your sneak look like? Like, what? How?
Well, it's one of 2 ways depending on whether you allow it, because I sort of am a bit of a shapeshifter. I just basically kind of go on all 4s and go very, like, just bend over, like, just walk on all 4s. And then stand up right next to Blue, and the one hand slowly gets bigger into a battering ram, just looming over, about to go.
Okay, we can have this set up. And Smudge, what does the beginning of your stealth look like?
I kind of want it to be like in Lilo and Stitch, when Stitch is sneaking through the house and he like climbs along the wall and just kind of skitters along there.
Terrifying, but perfect. So we'll reset the scene where we see the 2 of them they split off. Faryad goes right, Smudge goes left, and Smudge takes the wall route, where he starts to climb up. And Faryad's route is much more direct.
Straightforward.
Mm-hmm. But like you slowly start to form your battering ram with your clay hand, which I guess reformed. And as you do that, the woman with long black hair wearing some like satin eggshell white cloak gown with the crest of Sahanin. Not only could I hear you from half a mile away, the scent of your existence, my little chosen, and she tilts her head back to see you. I don't know why you're out of your cage. And she's going to extend her hand. My hard move against you is she's going to cast Witch Bolt, but like the Monster of the Week edition. Let me roll something.
Oh god.
Oh no.
I'm not doing a lot of combat, so let me just refresh. On a 10 plus, I choose an extra effect.
Oh no.
Extra.
Oh, she going down. If anything happens to Smudge.
I'm so scared.
So, my hard move is a two-parter. One, it's that her intent isn't simply to hurt you. She does want to immobilize you. So when she casts this spell, you see this almost like electrical, encased by another, we'll say blue and white. Are probably appropriate colors, and she casts this out, and she has to maintain the spell on Smudge, and it holds you in place on the wall, but we can see the pain and the terror on you, because like it hurts you from head to toe.
Ow.
Oh no.
You take 4 harm.
Jesus. Okay. Which, because I've got the resilience, counts as 3 harm for the purposes of a keeper's hard moves.
Perfect. I like that there's like a specific line for that.
There is.
All right. Faryad, I will let you complete your...
Oh.
But this is going to be now you're kicking some ass here.
I am just gonna straight up use a luck point.
Yeah, that's legit.
This is a huge trigger for Faryad, so it's like, nope, I'm not even gonna roll. I'm just gonna simply use the luck point.
Okay.
You're 12.
12. So you get an enhanced effect. So how much harm does your...
Okay, so it does 3 harm. Yeah, that's the appropriate reaction.
That's good.
Yeah, and I think if one of the enhanced effects is like roll double, I am doubling that.
Yes, your attack inflicts double the normal harm.
So that's 6.
Okay. What? Let me double check HP points.
She has like 1 left.
She has 2 left. Thank you very much.
Okay.
What does this look like?
Yeah, the battering ram just goes wham like a bug. Like, you know, when you're swatting a fly with a book, it's just like bam. And Faryad's face, which is usually quite expressionless because, you know, it's just a mouth, and it's like burst and almost non-existent. And the buttons are like almost like vibrating.
Oh.
Okay. Eledhwen takes the hit like a champ.
And I'm ready to strike again as like my finishing, like just...
Her form falls into the water, where when her body hits it, you see the blood meld mix with the water, and it hits the surface first, and then 2 heartbeats pass, and all the blood that has kind of misted by starts to suck inward, and all of her wounds start to remend. And after maybe 5 more breaths, she is whole, and her head kind of breaches the water, and she sucks in a breath of air. What the fuck was that? And she stands up and, I mean, so Smudge, you've been, like, concentration has been canceled. You will fall and hit the ground, yeah.
Ow!
She moves some of her hair from her face and glares daggers at Faryad. But Smudge, it is your turn.
I'm going to cough because the wind's been knocked out of me, and then reach into my pocket and pull out a bug bomb and throw it at her.
This is what it was for.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is...
Devin, you're making so many faces. I hope you're okay.
Okay, so that's
Killing
a kick
me,
smash.
Bianca.
I know.
So that is an 11 total.
Nice.
And so 10 plus, gain the advantage, take one forward, give +1 to another hunter, inflict terrible harm. I'm gonna give one forward in addition to inflicting the 2 harm of the bug bomb.
Nice. Walk me through the logistics of your bug bomb, because I know we discussed it on episode 1, but like I really need to relive this.
So I pick up a little ball of clay about the size of a golf ball. Thank you, Faryad. And I just chuck it at her, and let's say that it hits her chest, and as soon as it does, it splits. And what was a bunch of eggs turns into hundreds or thousands of tiny little carnivorous beetles with great big mandible thingies. Oops. And they just start biting all over this lady's body, taking surprisingly large chunks out of her as they bite. And each time they bite, they get a little bit bigger.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As your bug bomb hits her and they explode and start to attack, she kind of freezes for a moment and then dips her hands into the pool and casts the cantrip shape water to start to remove them. And she's doing it kind of meticulously, like, you know it hurts as she's pulling off one, like there's a chunk of skin missing. I don't understand why you can't just sit in your cell and be quiet. Act nicely. I don't ask a lot from you. I brought you bugs, Smudge. What more do you want?
I want to tell you that I'm ready.
Very well. Let me just... And she's still, like, healing and getting these gross bugs off. If you two would wait outside in the hallway, I will be with you in a moment.
Can I also get some of the magic water?
No, it's for elves only. You would burn in this.
Really?
Please.
Cool.
Please.
Smudge, my son.
Exit the room, right?
And
I pause for a moment and I'm looking at Smudge like, do I finish what I started?
I make a chill, I have a plan kind of hand motion.
What is that hand motion? Just like pawing at the air?
So, it's cool.
My battering ram goes away and I follow Smudge. And I just very quietly say, I hope you know what you're doing.
Yeah, me too. Just promise me one thing.
What?
Even if it looks really bad, don't freak out. We're little, and they're big, and they have magic, and you have to be smart about this. Yeah? So even if it looks really bad, I know what I'm doing. Please trust me on that. Be smart.
Okay.
Okay.
And you notice I'm not vibrating anymore. I've actually calmed down.
Cool. All right.
It takes Elen not more than 5 minutes to recoif herself. Her hair is dry, her clothes are dry. She's put together again. And
Eledhwen would love to know how to do that.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
She looks at Faryad and then she looks back at Smudge. Do you know Eledhwen?
Yeah.
Eledhwen apparently is his protector.
I should have known. Well, that makes things somehow more difficult, but easier.
Why?
Well, children, come follow me.
I would just like to point out that technically I am not a child and that I have reached adulthood in Goblin Society. Thank you very much.
My apologies. I don't mean to be... what's a word that's not what's the word for racism that's not racism?
Prejudice.
Yes.
Or bigoted.
I was going for bigoted, but I never know, contextually if that made the most sense, but I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Children, bigoted, right. I'm not here to be prejudiced, but you two move with me and move quietly. Please don't touch the walls. We are in the Tree of Life, and this has been you. We don't have a cleaner here, and your gross fingerprints are going to be left everywhere.
I keep doing it until someone physically stops me.
She keeps walking. Ain't got time for that. Hands and feet inside the rat at all times. Optional. This tree has been what supports the Three Isles for a millennia. We have found other ways to power the tree, but in the past, decade, we have discovered some information related to the apocalypse that revealed some alternative support systems to encourage the tree to remain as a catalyst to support all of our isles. So you understand the importance of what a chosen does typically. We choose people.
I didn't understand half those words. What did cats have to do with anything?
There were no cats.
But you said there were lists of cats.
Pinches the bridge of her nose. Oh, light, save me. Darkness, save me. Maybe that's more appropriate. What I'm trying to say is we have the technology to utilize the body, the soul, and all the parts that exist in the physical realm can be absorbed by this tree, and this in turn helps us keep the islands alive, and it also has some extra benefit effects that we all benefit from. She dismisses the last
extra benefits?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at Faryad sideways at that one.
And I look back at you and I say, so you have lists of cats and then it benefits?
Well, yeah, let's just go with that. I have some questions for you, if you don't mind.
Which one?
Both of you. She just looks down in general. For both of you, definitely. I'm not trying to pry, but it's concerning Eledhwen. How long has he been traveling with you? What is he doing? What is he trying to do right now? What has he even been able to accomplish these past years?
Gosh. Well, he's been trying to get me to take a bath, but that hasn't worked out so well. And
he's been trying to smote me.
Yeah, that hasn't worked very well either. He's been trying to get me to brush my teeth too, but I don't know why anyone would bother with that.
And he keeps teleporting to you whenever you're away.
Oh yeah, he keeps trying to prevent me from having any fun or robbing anyone or anything like that. It's really lame. I don't know. He has a really cool sword thing, staff with a moon on it. He gets sunburnt really good. So he turns pink and peels. It's hilarious.
He can't float.
No.
Yeah, wow. I don't know if everything's changed or nothing has. Huh. Okay, I mean, look, and she pinches the bridge of her nose again. Smudge, Eledhwen, he's made some stupid choices, and I don't always support what he's done, but
I agree with that.
You told me...
Like swimming in armor. That's a bad choice.
Oh, wow. I will remember that next time I see him. Thank you.
This was a nice adventure.
Can't even defend yourself.
I am dying at Devon, dying.
What you get for leaving them alone.
Right? What did you expect?
I love all of this. Now.
What was I even asking? Oh. Smudge. Where I'm taking you is where I've taken so many chosen. This has been my job for a long time. But
how long?
I don't really count years. Makes you feel old. She fans herself. I'm not about that.
So like decades?
Chosen?
Centuries?
I couldn't
Millennia?
tell. The chosen thing is new, like decade new.
Oh, okay.
Still fresh. But
So 10 years.
I've been working here for quite some time. This was a choice that I made after I went to wizarding school.
So like decades? Centuries? Millennia?
No, just not gonna answer that one. I don't know.
What did you do before you waited to make chosen ready by feeding us food and then making us be really bored?
I went to a illustrious college for wizards. I traveled. I was born here, and this place is small and confined, and it makes people not who they should be.
It turns you into child killers.
I'm not... Do you believe in the theory of sacrificing one to save a million?
Depends on the one, and if it's
Depends
not
on the million.
Huh. I don't often encounter a lot of questions with this statement.
Is this the equivalent of like two children going, but why?
It's exactly what I was channeling.
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is we will go to the altar room, but I might have to do some scrying before I commit to my decision.
Can we also see what you scry?
I don't think it works like that. Oh, look, we're at the altar room, and she gestures.
Maybe you should use a handkerchief if you're going to cry a lot.
Yes.
Thank you. I will consider it. And she...
Are you an ugly scryer?
You're fired. Damn it.
I love
God.
it. A plus. Good job.
Yeah, A+, but goddamn, you're fucking fired.
I rehire you.
You're back. Go to your desk. Well, and she gestures to the room, and what you see.
You know, I've seen some ugly scryers where there's they have this black lining in their eyes, and then it just goes all over the place, and then they look like, what was it, a raccoon or was it a panda? I forget.
The altar up here has been in this tree for centuries. It has existed long before my time. I believe it is a true relic of Sehanine. And the altar is beautiful. I meant to Google altars before I talked about them. It is a platform. You have to take a couple steps up with like a super cool...
How big is the tree?
Pillar. Oh, the tree is indescribably big.
So not something I could use for mayhem.
No!
I think that was the entire party's reaction on that idea.
So much, yes. If I couldn't set it on fire, you destroy that fucking
If
tree
he's the
somehow.
one cheering you on, it's a bad idea to do it.
Right? That is when you triple guess, you quadruple guess your decisions. Dais is just like a stone tablet, but like it's smooth, it's got a lot of carvings on it. Probably marble, like that really cool... The definition of marble, like that.
So
That's
what
the
size category is the altar?
Let me look at yours. I think it would be a small.
Ah, okay.
Like it's... Yeah, it typically fits people under the age of 10.
Okay, so it's a 2-harm size weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, so what... Give me a moment. And she walks over to the altar and places her hand on the slab of marble, and she closes her eyes.
I whispered to Smudge, you know that Eledhwen made me promise to take care of you, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm not getting on that altar, but some other weird shit might go down. So just keep your cool, okay? We'll figure it out.
Okay, but get hurt.
Excuse me.
Eledhwen will probably smote me. I mean, at least will try to smote me, but then I will probably smote myself because I promised.
Don't promise me you're not going to smote yourself. No smoting of the Faryad.
Okay.
I am clan, and you are my clan. Yeah, you got my note? I am the last of my clan, except for you. So you have to keep the Gushing Wounds clan going, no matter what. And Eledhwen is in the clan, but you outrank him by a lot.
Aww. Faryad just nods.
I love it. Sorry, I'm double checking somebody's sheet.
Oh, okay.
Oh no! Somebody's sheet!
Oh dear. Oh no.
Okay, so we are going to pause, but I have to establish a rules thing. So, Smudge, because you took 4 harm, that crossed you over into the threshold where you're unstable.
Unstable. Mm-hmm.
What this means
I thought it was
is...
3.
Yes, they took 4 harm. Oh, was it only 3 because... Oh, you're right.
It acts like 3.
Okay, nope, you were on the borderline, you're golden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm going to pause with the two of you whispering behind each other and Eledhwen with her hands on the actual altar doing her thing.
Cool.
Eledhwen.
Hi.
How are you? How you feeling?
I mean, I'm fine. I'm having a good day.
Sorry, not sorry, by the way.
As far as I know, today's been awesome.
Right, though?
You got a squire?
You do?
I've got people worshipping the ground I walk upon. I am walking around familiar territory. There's no sun in my face, other than the impending eclipse.
We can worry about that later.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, inside the door slams behind you, and the two kids kind of hit the ground with a heavy thump. Ugh. And the little gnome girl starts to cry again, and boy tries to it's okay, my mom will have cookies. Don't cry, please. And then he looks to you for guidance.
boy, this would be a great time to have Zooth.
It's so funny you considered it, and we were just like, psh,
Yeah.
nah.
Now, Eledhwen's not great with kids.
That wasn't obvious.
Please stop crying.
You have to offer her something. Will you give her some of your armor? That will make me stop. If I start crying, I'll stop if you give me some of your armor. That's what squires do.
I mean, I probably had some cookies, but I don't know if they survived the underwater submerging.
Oh, ugh. You've gone through so much. Like,
I have, like, a little bit left.
Is it just a paste at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Gnome girl cries harder. You're not helping. And that scary man is outside. Should we move from the doorway?
Yeah.
I have a really high-pitched voice. I haven't deepened yet.
Would the gnome like to ride on my shoulders?
Would you? And he whispers to her, it seems really cool. And she sniffles like a, yeah, please.
Is the gnome is smaller than Smudge?
I think so, yeah. Both in like height and just like general size.
And demeanor.
Yeah. But do you still have, like, you had a shoulder back thing for Smudge when...
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be okay for the gnome, because it was definitely warped slightly, but I think it'll suffice. May not be the most comfortable thing, but that's not what I'm going for right now.
And she stopped crying as soon as you put her like over your shoulders. Yeah.
Is there like a wooden beam or a lock or something on this? Probably not.
The lobby it's always open.
Okay. Let's just move. Boy, where does your mother live?
I never come in this way. Let's go up those stairs. And he points towards like the longest, most winding staircase. It's just like in the center of the...
Of course he does.
I don't know how to not give you stairs. I'm so sorry, by the way.
Give him all the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know where she would be, because I don't think she told us, did she?
I feel like she has an office, and it's been mentioned.
I think she mentioned it at one point.
If you're, like, Eledhwen's general knowledge about this stuff, like, you know just based off of the church that the main office of whoever is, like, the head of the organization is probably the tallest one.
Yeah.
It's just, like, a trend in the city. All the architects are abuzz with it.
Ivory towers and such. Alright, yeah, let's get climbing.
Okay, I would like an actor under pressure, not to climb the stairs, with a child. I believe that you've done this. You're not trying to be stealthy. This is because you had a rather poor, act under pressure, and depending on how you roll now, I may or may not make a hard move against you.
Oh yeah, that's reassuring.
This is like, this is the time.
It's not so bad. That's pretty good, actually. That's an 11.
Hell yeah.
All right. My luck's turning around.
This was on... Yep, you do the thing. Yeah, you get to the top of the stairs before you finally hear the very loud, echoey sound of the door opening and closing. But you have... How are you with stairs? You out of breath? You've got like an extra 10 pounds on your shoulders. Your quad's burning. Like, it's a lot of stairs.
I'm just kind of going to lose myself in the exercise, try to use it as sort of a quick moment to recenter myself, kind of focus on the moment rather than everything else.
Okay. No,
Get-
that's excellent.
Get them thick leg, boy.
Well, boy complains the whole time. At some point, he's on like all fours. I can't do more stairs. Mom never makes me take the stairs.
You would do it if you want them thick legs.
We must expect all squires to be able to climb stairs.
With that, he back 2 feet. Yep, you're right. I've got this. My legs aren't on fire. I'm gonna be the best squire. And
A rhyming squire.
yes. Yeah, without too much more complaint and a little bit more sweat. For what it's worth, like the staircase is probably mostly decorative. And there are back ways that are more accommodating. However, you do reach the very top, and there is a hallway and one door. It's cracked open, as all these people tend to do.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a fully closed door in any one of these buildings.
It's weird.
Other than the basements. All right, yeah, let's rap gently on the door.
As you knock, I mean, boy shoves his way through.
Oh yeah.
And Jamila is there, teary-eyed, puffy-faced, as she has been since you've unfortunately known her, just kind of like poring over some papers, and as soon as her eyes lock on her son, just like the waterworks there, but like they're the happiest tears that you've ever seen, and it's just like this lovely, just like cry sounds, but like lots of hugging, and finally when they have their moment, she raises her head to you. Thank you so much. I don't even, where did you find my son?
Bit of a long story. Just
Please sit down, have tea. You have somebody with you. I can bring you juice. Would you like some cookies?
I have many other things to it. Actually, yes, I will take a cookie. But I have many things to attend to.
Yes, but I have some questions for you. Like, this is my son. I need to know where he's been. I need to know what's happened. I haven't even left the guild in so long, and it's been pouring rain for I have no idea how long, and things are getting a little unreasonable. And did you know we had a drought? How can we have a drought with this weather? She takes a breath. Thank you. What can I do for you?
Doing my job, ma'am.
Lame. Sorry. No, I'm so grateful to you.
Since you offer.
Yeah, toss in some cookies and juice in your inventory.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But please, can you? And she turns to the boy, like, where were you? What happened? And he is just eating cookies and, like, swinging his feet off of a chair. Just happy to be home, as kids often are.
Yeah. Well, it seems we may have a large problem with children in general. It seems there's some sort of, I don't want to say cult, but it's a cult that is taking children, believing them to be chosen, something to do with sacrificing them to a great tree on the island.
I mean, there's a tree. Everybody knows about the tree there. We used to decorate it until, that little dog died. Couldn't do it again. Damn. I don't even know where to start with all that.
Do you know anything about any of that?
I know that there's been a series of murders and disappearances, and I just signed a warrant for one of our guild members' arrest. His name was she like racks her brain for a little bit. Mr. Wild, not the senior, but like one of the sons.
Yep. I figured that one out.
And I don't know, like I've had no information about missing children. If anybody should have come to me. They know that I've been going through this. Like, I've talked about it on all of the, like, where, like, your town goes, like, the town meetings. Is that a word? Town meeting. I've talked about it at all the town meetings, and nobody's mentioned any of the missing children. It's just the adults that have, like, we had my assistant, fuck, would she know about that? Sure. We had my assistant, Blue and Shy. I think they went missing. There was the death of that other co-worker. So many people have been dying in strange ways that I feel like I've been missing so much.
Yeah, you probably missed a lot. Okay. Who ordered the arrest on Killian?
Who have I not asked a name for yet? Miriam, have I had you name somebody yet today?
Nope.
Do you have a favorite fish?
I was gonna say, I think it's hamur, but I think it's called a groper.
I like hammer. Hamr.
I'll type it in. Hamur.
Where did we type this? In our chat?
Oh yeah, the Zoom
Sorry,
chat.
I popped it out somewhere and I lost it.
Hammour.
Thank you. That would be the... Did we discuss a mayor yet? No. That would be the Mayor Hamur. I can't say that name with an accent. Hamur.
Yeah.
He's been quite a lovely mayor of the city. Like, I've had no complaints. He's been dutiful. He's mostly watchful.
Boy, I'm getting tired of keep getting directed to new powerful people.
Truthfully, I don't think he's around. He's been on vacation off Isle on the mainland for probably a few weeks now. Like you wouldn't be able to speak to him.
Of course not. Alright. Well, do you know how to fix netherweave by chance?
What was that again? Oh, your roll.
Because if not, I gotta go to the church and I don't want to go there. So if I do, I could go find out what Smudge's treasure is.
True. I want a roll, but I don't know. Give me a d6 and...
Sure. That's a 3 on the d6.
Low is yes. I do, in fact. That was one of my hobbies when I was just a little young elf.
That's incredibly convenient. Excellent.
What do you need sewed? I would do anything for you at the moment. Like, if this is what you ask for returning my son, absolutely, I would love to help you.
This will do. I'm gonna unclasp what remains of cloak from the armor and pull the rest of it out and recoil at the scent. Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
It's
the holy cloak of Sehanine. Would you be able to repair such a garment?
I've got some supplies. We obviously scavenged quite a lot. I might have to visit the wild facilities, but I think that there will be something that we can use. Could you give me perhaps at least half of a day?
If that's what it'll take.
I think so, absolutely. Come see me at... and she looks outside of her window. I've kind of lost track of time. Come see me when you think that perhaps half a day has passed.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Excellent. Worst case scenario, I can send my secretary to come find you. Mr. Straw is very diligent in finding people. I've never had any issues.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, it's settled. Excellent. Thank you. What are you doing with the small child on your shoulders, though? Are you going to keep her there? We can bring her to her house.
That would be fantastic.
Excellent.
I'm sure that this child would be in much better care with someone with a motherly instinct.
Yeah, I mean, Gnome is happy to, like, hang out and eat cookies.
Well, yeah, I mean, what, is juice and cookies here? Like,
When? Perfect. Yeah, and you are welcome to go. You've bargained. You've acquired something for completing this.
excellent. Yes, no, this has gone well. This has generally gone well. So I think to kill time, I'm gonna look at that and go and try and see if I can go find what's going on with the whole secret treasure in Smudge's room. Because I mean, I'm here, I can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can definitely resolve this.
Because like the way I see Eledhwen's thought process is this whatever this thing is, it runs deep, encompasses almost everybody as far as he's concerned. So at this point, it's just to get back to the giant tree and deal with the problem. Which, yeah, I could take the portal back, but it's much cooler and more heroic to just show up.
Honestly, yeah.
You know, he's got some motivation to work on his appearance a little bit.
You have half a day to get your shit in order.
Yeah.
I am giving you this.
I'm gonna go back to my barracks and I'm gonna take out my grooming kit and kind of start doing that. Get a little bit of eyeliner in there.
Yeah.
Cover over top of the horrible sunburn.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Start maybe banging out some of the armor.
Get new armor.
This is his armor, like.
Yeah, this is specifically made for me, given to me when I joined the order. I'm not just gonna get some new set of armor.
Excellent. Yeah, if you want to resolve the treasure.
Yeah, and since I'm there anyway, I might as well do that too. Because I'm curious, and it might be.
I might have to let Shannon take the reins temporarily, simply because I don't know, like, should I... What did we have planned? Anything? You are muting and talking at the same time. Like, you're mute and talk and unmute and talk. You're
Really?
unmuted now. Yep, you're good.
Okay.
It's almost like it was pushed to talk and you were, like, tapping it.
Oh, okay. I DM'd you with notes on what I think the treasure is. Feel free to add or modify.
I'm gonna start plucking my eyebrows.
You spend like a quality 4 hours on some self-care. And oh, Sahanin, you needed it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, every now and again, every few decades, you need to just decide, you know, I need some me time.
There's even like a mud bath if you're interested. I don't know.
Yeah, sure, why not? I gotta get out of that armor and then like probably power clean the inside of it.
There's like cracks in there with like things growing that you didn't think could grow on that surface.
It's like when you take a cast off.
And that smell?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
I like to also think that some of the parts that I enhanced on my own didn't get fully affected, so they're kind of nice, but because it's in black, he doesn't like it.
So...
Yeah. he took the time to like buffer out the black to make it all, what was it, silver? Or nice glistening silver all over again.
Resin?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still got like the added effects that it has.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
I mean, that's 2 less pieces I gotta clean, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. The So your barracks, just looking, I've got a little map to look at. Okay, so like, if I recall, I think we talked about this, Smudge had the actual room, and you just had like the small bed and door. Like there wasn't a lot of wiggle room. So if I don't like, would you spend your time like hammering things out in Smudge's room? Because like he would have the tables.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're in there, you, based off the letter, there's the fireplace in the corner, and then next to the fireplace, it just like your letter says, secret panel here.
So I guess I'll just kind of feel along the cracks between bricks until I can find one.
You're almost shocked that you haven't noticed it before. All the mortar around the brick has been faded and just like brushed away.
Yeah, those rumors about elves automatically finding secret passageways are greatly exaggerated.
It's a lot lower to the ground than you would think to look naturally, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really just use this place to sleep and then leave. Like, no
You don't spend a
personal
lot of time there.
until today.
So weird. Yeah, inside you find Discord. Honestly, like the most wild assortment of junk. And it's also like there's always been an odor in the room. And like after Smudge leaves, like it still remains, and like you've taken
The cleaners have tried so hard.
and it still lingers, and you have discovered why. In this pile of, I don't even know how to, it's textures, like there's some like old fruit, there's like a potato that's turned into like a shriveled thing, there is strips of leather, and like in the middle of all of this is so much sparkling gold and just like sparkling gems. Some you can tell just like that's not even a gem, it's just a rock that's red. And some are like, wow, that's probably actually a ruby. And they're just right next to each other. Like they were gathered indiscriminately.
That brat's been making me pay all his bills.
And there's like crumpled up papers just like sprinkled in the nook.
Just paper. I'm not sure I want to touch them.
I mean, like, he leaves you little notes. Like, it's not unknown. So it might be just, like, started scribbled notes that were unfinished.
Yeah, like, yeah. Too many things to cross out that it would use.
And this is the treasure that you have found.
Okay. I guess I'll take anything that's actually valuable.
You have to dig through a lot of it.
Yeah, I got nothing but time.
Yeah. It's a lot. Like, you can't really carry it all on
No,
you.
I'm just gonna grab whatever's the most. Is it just jewels or is there coins as well?
Coin, for sure. Gold, silver.
Okay, I'll just grab the coins and put them back in my wallet.
Perfect.
And make a mental note and realize that he's got way more than I ever did. I keep like my mind goes back to every single time I've had to reach in and give money to somebody for whatever reason.
Yes.
And it's not even like a third.
Oh, dang.
So I'm just like, yeah, that's about right.
I love it. We are going to fast forward this a little bit. You work out as many of the dents in your armor as possible. You're clean shaven, you're clean, your face has been reapplied, your hair is coiffed. It's one of those words you read but don't often say out loud. And you look as everybody met you. Like this sparkling, majestic, like high elf like of Sahanine. Like you actually look the part, finally. You're able to return to the guild, and hunched over her desk, just finishing the last bits, is Jamila, and she looks up. Oh, your timing is excellent, actually. I had Mr. Straw keep an eye on you, but I guess he didn't have to find you. Excellent. She shows you the finished cape.
And how well has it been repaired? Is it like almost seamless, or?
Give me a d6. Let me write down what the results are going to be.
It's another 3.
Dan, I just wrote low yes. Yeah, she did a really good job.
Excellent.
Like, she's got experience with weird stuff, and this just fell under her wheelhouse.
Just because, it's going to be right there. So, I ideally like it to be very
It's got to blend in with the look.
Yeah.
And you are put together. How do we want to end this scene?
I think I'm going to do a dramatic sweep and flourish of the cloak as I swing it over and toss it back in before kind of making sure the children are sitting quietly and happy. Take a deep bow and then just vanish.
Okay.
A few small feathers drifting down.
Yes. Perfect. Gwen and Killian, you have spent the better part of the day sailing. What was her name? Rose Bull did come down and bring you some whiskey, Gwen.
Yes, good.
She offered you, whatever services a boat has, which is whiskey, rum.
Fruit,
Yeah.
I would hope.
Oh,
That's fine. Both are fine.
A couple of oranges.
Great. I'll have an orange and some whiskey and and I'll give him a little bit of whiskey too if they don't offer him any while he's in the brig.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Real quick, the handcuffs, what kind? Are they like standard, typical police issue, or are they the ones that it's 2 pieces of wood clamped together?
I think it's 2 pieces of wood.
Is it locked? Is there a locking mechanism?
Probably, yeah. Something fancy.
Okay, so what I want to do is Gwen, real quick, can I borrow a bobby pin from you?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
I'll pull one out. She keeps her hair in a big old bun, so she'll just pull out.
So I'm gonna take the bobby pin. Yeah. I'm gonna take the bobby pin, and I'm going to dislocate my thumb.
Ah.
Yeah. So you're gonna hear you're gonna hear a loud popping sound, and I'm gonna just pull it out, and I'm going to reattach it, and then with the bobby pin, I'm gonna open it so I could get my my prosthetic arm out. I'm like, God, that feels better. Just see me crack my hands back and forth.
I hate it.
Do you need an act under pressure before we determine the level of success?
Okay.
Maybe that cracked thumb doesn't go back.
I hate that.
Real quick, what's you said act under pressure?
Yes, please. I think that's cool.
5-3, that's 8.
You are definitely able to pull your hand, dislocate your thumb. However, your I don't know enough anatomy, so I'm gonna say words and stop me if it sounds wildly wrong. You tore a ligament in the meantime, and when you tried to pop it back in, you don't have as much mobility in your thumb, so you're gonna have a hard time doing everything with your good hand.
I'll fix that later.
I hate it when you do that. I hate it.
Listen, I know you hate it, but you see me do it more than enough times that I can easily fix this with no problem. It's just a torn ligament. Literally, I can fix this later.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just I don't want to. I'm not thinking about it anymore. I hate it. She's back in the papers.
And
can you pretend that your hands are still bound just in case they come back down? Is there a way to make it look like you're still in the handcuff?
Well, seeing as how it's just as you say, it's grossly just flopping around. I could just easily like push my hand in and out.
I hate it. Forget I asked. I hate it.
Yeah. And then in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna like start singing a dumb like rock song that I came up with.
Okay. I'm trying to concentrate on your case, but cool.
No, all you hear humming is just Styx, Renegade by Styx, and that's all you hear. That's it.
Norman, what is your favorite flower, if you have one?
Peonies?
Peony?
Yeah, peony. There you go.
Peony. The mate that was kind of sitting in the chair stares at you wide-eyed, like in the middle of doing his little dream catcher.
I forgot he was there.
And then that's when I look up. I'm like, oh shit, you're still here. Hey, can I get one of those origamis? They look very nice.
Yeah, I make some really cool cranes as well. And he like reaches over to his little pile. I don't even know where he got the paper. Probably not okay to use for origami. It's documents. Like he's been slowly stealing some of the documents that like Gwen's been reading. Like,
no,
them into little cranes.
Who cares? I'm gonna take one. I'm gonna have them all nicely aligned, and then like I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna go in my pocket real quick and just pull out another joint of nether hemp and try to like just light it off. I'm like, I'm done for. I'm in jail. There's what I'm gonna do, right, is I'm gonna create friction with my warforged arm and the steel to create a little small like spark, and just do that. And just I'm gonna use that as my lighter.
It doesn't impact the game, so yeah, I can let you have it.
Yes.
Peony looks over his chair. Hey man, you wanna send that my way? I won't tell anybody about the cuffs, promise.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Here, take one. I'm gonna give him his own like full like joint for himself.
Do you just have like multiple joints in like your breast pocket? Like
no, so in the cigarette holder,
did you go into water as well? Oh, you have a cigarette holder. Okay, no, I can.
So in the cigarette case. Yeah, so in the cigarette case, yeah, it holds up to 7, and I only smoked one on the island, and this will be my second one. So I would have about 4 more left. There you go. With me giving him them away. So that's 3 in total. There you go.
Sure, that's on you to keep track of. I will not ask you. Yeah. Whose dog are we hearing?
Who let the dogs out?
Nope, that is in the hallway. No, we cannot.
Oh, it's outside.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dog. I just want to pet you, but I can't.
I know.
Peony looks over and then kind of like narrows his eyes at all the papers that you've been poring over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the mayor of the town, everybody says he's actually a ghost. Nobody's seen him. All this stuff that gets signed by we follow orders by a ghost. I don't know how we even operate as a society.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Have you ever seen the mayor? What do we call him? Mayor Hamur? Hamur?
I don't think I have.
Nobody has.
Hmm.
You're being arrested by a ghost, dude. Fight the power.
You know, I appreciate that. I wouldn't be surprised it's just a giant council that quote unquote made up this figure, and they just got tired of my shit at some point. Right?
Well, most of this isn't accurate. A lot of this never happens. So yeah, it's entirely made up.
You should probably mutiny. I can hide. It's fine. I didn't
We're
really
not
want to come to
mutinying
work
the ship.
today.
It's not the captain's fault. She's just doing her job. Once we get off the ship, we'll, I don't know, figure something out.
Bull is the worst captain. You would never want to work under her. She tells you what to do all day long.
I think that's just like a captain thing, isn't it?
I don't know.
Plus, she got those sweet ass arms too. I'm like, come on, how can you not
She's
go?
pretty cool. I really like.
Intimidated by her. My masculinity can't handle it.
Oh gosh.
Listen, man. At some point,
I'm done.
Gonna
Gwen's done.
Like at some point, it's just me and him. We're just talking about like how like at some point I'm like just into like just buffing, and it's like this is totally working for me right now, and like I need this.
Piana has a hard time understanding Kitty.
Yeah, like when I saw her like walking away, like I checked out her back, and it's like it's strong as fuck.
Yeah. You arrive at Lendore docks with a thunk. You all shake, but you're home. Peony and a burlier looking sailor reach in to grab Killian, and they escort you outside. And Peony and Gwen, you're welcome to follow.
Yeah, I'll follow. And once we, I guess, where are they leading us?
Onto the docks where somebody's waiting for you. It is a figure all in black.
Nope.
I try and like fix my hair so I look professional again, because right now I'm sure it's just like, but
they look rough.
It doesn't look good. And I'm missing a hairpin now. So
yeah, I just put my hand right back into the cuffs and just like wait it out. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be a thing.
I kind of straighten up and follow.
You look good. You look good.
I'm trying to be your lawyer. Give me a minute.
You're like a female version of Saul right now, just trying to get yourself together.
I can do it. I mean, I got this.
Bull walks over to the man in black. These are the ones that you wanted.
Ones?
And she walks back to her boat and leaves. Peony waves enthusiastically.
Wait, give me back my turtle.
And what's her name? Ingrid is like standing nervously off to the side. However, the man in black approaches you.
Mm-hmm.
He has a straw in his mouth. What kind of voice do I want?
Ingrid, I want you to know that we're gonna. If I get out of this, we're gonna have a serious talk about your loyalties. I want you to understand that.
I'm so sorry, sir. I don't even know. I just thought I was doing my job.
No. Shut it. Just stand there.
Man in black just reaches out, grabs your manacles, and starts to lead you away. He doesn't even say anything.
I'm sorry. This is my client. I would appreciate it if you would tell us what is going on.
Follow me. Follow me.
Who are you?
Doesn't
a
matter.
man with many.
Where are you taking us?
To a holding cell.
Where?
Keep walking and you'll find out.
No. And I hold him and pull him back. We have a right to know what is going on and where we're going.
He stops and spins on his heels. Look, I'm doing my job. I don't care what happens to you. I was told we need the wild son. We're going to use him, do whatever it is that they do with him, and you're welcome to show. You can come up. You weren't really a part of the plan, but you're here, and we're going to work with it.
Sounds great. That's the story of my life. It's fine.
Wait, real quick. It's one dude, right? How big is he? Big dude.
It's berry straw if the straw wasn't a towel.
I know, but damn, I kind of, because in my head I was thinking of something sinister to do, but it won't look well.
Oh no.
No, yeah.
You are in public. Super.
I don't encourage it.
Yeah, because there's two things. I was gonna be like, either tell Gwen to stop, go get my dad, see if he can figure something out.
Yes.
Get my dad, please. Go get daddy.
Yes, this is the one time I'll be like, can you just go get my dad? Or
I want to wait till I know where you're going first.
The second thing is I would use the manacles to basically choke this dude out. Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. Just choke him out. I'm like, I'm just gonna put you to sleep, and then I'm gonna get.
But we're on a busy dock right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the Coast Guard, like Ingrid
Everyone's
is still
there.
waving you behind, like
right.
Yeah. So that's.
Keep them in the back pocket. They're both good ideas.
Yeah.
You may be doing your job. I am doing mine. I have a right to know where you are taking us, as does he.
The man has stopped answering.
Then I don't move. I stand there and I have my hand on Killian's shoulder. We're not moving.
How do we strength contest this?
I don't know. I'm not strong. I'm sorry, Killian. I have no strength.
Yeah.
I have negative strength.
Oh boy.
I
You're
mean,
gonna
unless...
have to go work out with Eledhwen after this.
I guess it's general plus tough, like
minus tough in my case.
Oh no.
Well, that's a 6.
8. Give him a +1 because he's a tough dude. Yeah, so he's able to easily wrench Killian out of your grasp, and he just starts marching down the pathway that leads into the main city proper.
I follow as quickly as I can. And I'm complaining the whole way.
And then at this point, I'm going to be like, Gwenny, just for the love of God, stop.
I am your lawyer. You are not allowed to call me that.
I know, but at this point, I hate doing this, and I really don't want to ask him for anything, but could you just go and get my dad?
I want to see where they're taking you first, just so in case, so I don't lose you.
All right, fine. But then afterwards, just go get him. He can probably figure something out with both your heads put together.
Okay.
He takes you to the holding cell in the wild facility.
So well, that's easy.
Dope.
Have to go far.
Where would your father be?
Probably in his
Ivory
office.
Tower?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's probably in his office, signing off paperwork, approving experiments, disapproving experiments. Wouldn't be much.
Well, you stay here, I guess, and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, although I like to think in the back of my mind, the moment they leave, I'm like, hey, this is my own holding, so I could just break out of here. Okay. I still have the pin.
Mr. Straw is standing guard.
Okay, then yeah, I'm not.
I glare at Mr. Straw and flip my hair. Since
the moment I get since I'm put in the holding cell and the door is shut, there'll be like no point in me like getting out. I'm just gonna like take out my hand out of the manacle and just like try to like flex my torn thumb to try to rehabilitate it into place again.
Yeah, I hate it.
Well, I like to think that you have already flipped your hair and started.
I did. I'm gone. She's gone, but I hate it. Carly hates it.
Yeah, Carly hates it.
It makes
we can veil the thumb.
Okay.
There we go. So I'm just veil the thumb, but I'm just basically doing rehab on my phone.
Upstairs somewhere. They probably have like little lifts or something that are like pulled by hidden workers or something. Probably something mechanical.
We have elevators.
Dumb waiters or something. Yeah.
But like for the people. So you're able to ascend relatively easily. And you reach the tallest floor in the building. And there's multiple doors, all with like little gold placards and name tags. The biggest placard has what was his name again?
Francis. Yeah.
That's so normal compared to everybody else.
Right.
Well, when I came up with the name, I was watching Malcolm in the Middle at the time.
Oh, nice.
That works.
Yeah.
Classic.
Francis Wilde in silver letterings on a gold placard.
I think I knock, but it's one of those where I knock as I'm coming in. Like, I think she's in enough of a rush right now and like frazzled and worried enough that she's just like, knock, knock, here I am. Hi.
An older man looks up. It's almost like you're seeing Killian in like 30 years. He's got some more like stylistic features that are exclusive to him. Like his robe, he always like has the collar popped up. His hair is more gray. Maybe he's got some facial hair, like more lines. Just like you can tell that's Killian's dad, but it's he's intimidating still.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic's my dad.
Have I met him before, Killian?
I think in passing, definitely.
Yeah. From time to time, whether it be for like dinner parties or you passing by or whatever, you've seen him around.
Totally makes sense. So he will look up. Miss Visson, nice to meet you.
Yes. Sorry to barge in like this. Killian and I, we were out at sea. It's a long story. And he was arrested He's down in a holding cell right now, and he requested that I come get you because we're having trouble figuring out what's going on.
I am familiar with this, and this is according to process. My son has gotten himself involved in some drivel that I believe he is above, and I do not wish to disparage your family, but I think Killian needs to stay away from this now, and he will be staying here.
So the murder charges are not a thing.
Many of the murders happened, but
A lot of them didn't.
Did not.
That's right.
So you did this.
I have people who can handle this for me.
Shadow Council.
Okay.
Thank you, Daddy, for the one time.
Well, I think your son's old enough to make his own choices.
I thought so as well until he joined the guild.
You're not letting him make his own choices then.
He was set up to be the most brilliant scientist in all of Lendore. And what does he do? Put animals and people parts together? What a
That's not true.
waste of his time.
He was doing that before he was in the guild. That's not on us.
What the fuck? I didn't do
That's
this.
not on the guild.
I think the guild has inspired his poor decision making.
I didn't do it. Please. Please.
Well, this talk has been enlightening, Doctor. I appreciate your time. And I will close the door, slam the door on my way out, and head all the way back.
We will have a closing scene with the two of you here. What would you react as much as you would like to, Killian?
I like to when Gwen tells me this, I like to think, you know what, this actually seems like something that my dad would do. So I like to think that at least he had my best interest at heart. But come on, I can still once he's
imprisoning you.
Yeah. Well,
he's an asshole.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I know you know.
Once Mom kicked the bucket, it was hard on him, just as it was for me. But I can't talk today. I need to know that he at least has my best interest at heart. But
I don't know.
Did take my choice. He just took a choice away from me, a choice that I can easily gain back with no
You're
problem.
an adult.
Yeah, I know I'm an adult.
Is Straw sitting guard still?
Yeah.
Cool.
Arms crossed, leaning up against the wall.
He is Gendo Akari.
I think I know I'm gonna need to roll for this, but I want to do it. I want to try it. I'm going to try and like kind of reach up, make it look like I'm kind of scratching my head, pull another hairpin out, and I'm going to kind of attempt to make it look like I'm leaning in really close to talk to him while I pick the lock.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let's see how well you act under this pressure.
Can this be where's my thing? I've read about this sort of thing.
Absolutely.
I'm sure I have read about people picking locks before and read mystery novels. Okay, that would be an 8 + 3 is 11.
Yes. So how cool does it look? Like you leaning against and
really cool. I kind of make it look like I'm talking, and I probably am still like
like
kind
we're
of like
talking,
stream of
just like a little bit
consciousness
face
type.
to face.
Yeah, and I'm like, so yeah, I really don't agree with what he's doing. So I'm like picking this lock almost one-handed while like trying to block it out so he can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah,
until you hear the click.
Yes, I'm gonna spring the fuck out of here. And the moment I spring out, I'm going to knock out Straw.
How? And yeah, tell me.
Good luck.
How?
So,
then...
so with the manacles, I'm gonna just knock it over his head.
For this.
Yes, I'm gonna knock that shit over his head as hard as possible, and just because I'm a doctor, I just know that through the force and the weight of it, it should knock him out pretty hard with the cranial damage that I'm about to do to this poor man. He's just doing his job, but he gotta go.
Some ass.
Got a 6, and
Okay.
I got
I
a
thought that was
3. So I got a 9.
You are able to, I guess, strike a straw over the head, but this man is a trained professional. Trained in what? I don't know. But he still has really fast reflexes. So how much harm does... Oh, it's a made-up weapon. If it's gonna knock him out, I guess 2.
Okay.
He is able to take a jab and elbow you in the ribs to inflict 1 harm.
Okay.
But
So take
he
1 harm.
does go down. He looks
pull out-
knocked out.
I'll pull my rapier out and just be holding it at him uselessly.
I love your contributions.
I'm trying.
All right. And so my next move is I'm gonna finally just uncuff myself, and I'm going to cuff him with it since he's knocked out, and I'm going to I'm not gonna try and lift this dude. I'm just gonna roll him into the cell and lock him in, and we're
Solid
gonna
choice.
be like, let's go.
Let's bounce.
let's go see Jamila.
Give me 1 more act under pressure, because this is a situation where I can either capitalize on it depending on what you rolled, because your last roll was...
Can I help out somehow by helping to roll him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'd love to
Okay.
see the 2 of you try to roll this giant
Oh,
body.
my help out was bad. I'm so sorry.
I got an 11.
My help out was let me see what my cool is. 6.
So 16.
No.
No, wait.
I don't think that's how that works.
Wait, so you took it away from me?
She needs a success. No, so you still got your 11 as is.
Okay.
Just didn't help you at all. I tried and couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mostly she got in the way. You were trying to roll the body over, and she kept butting in to help, and it just it's like a 6.4 foot tall dude. It's a lot of human to just roll, and as one person with somebody else who's just yeah, I'll move the leg, and it's not
The one leg that I have
No,
lifted up.
Gwen, please just let me do
Help
this.
me.
No, I got this. I'm just gonna push this man in. It's cool.
Okay.
All right. So
And
We'll
with
push-
a
we'll push
little
him in
bit of work, you are able to push Straw into the holding cell. We're going to close the scene with the 2 of you exiting the wild facilities. And standing outside in the rain in a little raincoat, a tiny little hat and some booties, is the little gnome girl holding up a message.
oh, god damn it. Little girl, hi. Why are you here?
Find
What's
out
the
later.
message? Yeah.
Glad you made
Yeah.
it.
Later. She did make it. She's happy to see you, but we'll pause there.
Yeah.
Smudge and Faryad. Eledhwen removes her hands from the pedestal, the platform. My god wants something that I don't want. This makes things difficult. And she turns to face you, to look both of you in the eye. I'm wondering how best to handle this. Do you both not want the success of the world, effectively? Do you want to condemn thousands upon thousands of people to sink into the ocean? Do you want to encourage drought and wildfire and starvation? This is what your lack of participation is doing.
If your survival depends on killing children, then you all should burn.
I'm hoping that this is going to be a short-term solution to a long-term problem. As I stated, we've only been doing this for about a decade. We're looking for not just a chosen, but the right chosen. The chosen who can be the true catalyst and power this tree, ideally for what is the word that starts with an I? Infinity? Indefinitely. Indefinitely. And we've been looking ever since. I would like to perhaps test both of you if you're interested. You don't have... She, like, pauses. Are you ready?
What is the test?
You need to lay on the pedestal. You do so.
And then?
And then I will cast something over top.
Like what?
It's hard to put into words.
I suggest you try harder.
It's so much easier to show you.
You know what else is easier to show you? You need one or maybe both of us, right?
I do?
And I know that I'm the chosen of Sehanine. That's special. I know that's really special. Right?
Chosen? Or just like you were brought here and we picked you up randomly chosen?
No. Eledhwen found me like years and years ago, and apparently there's a big prophecy and everything, and I don't know shit about your tree, but I know that that's pretty important. So I might be important to your tree, but I'm pretty sure I have a bigger purpose. But I'm also guessing that I might be the one who can power this tree forever. And you need me on that altar, right?
Hunkers down to your level. What are you... Has Eledhwen confirmed this?
Oh yeah, and the high priest dude.
I don't even know what his name was. Him as
Ivory.
Came up with one.
well? I think Ivory was like the woman that worked for him.
The high priest?
I think it was just high priest.
That's what we called him. Do you want his actual name?
Oh, yeah.
High priest and Farin Silverbrow.
Oh, that's good to know.
My pen died. This is why I have multiples.
Also known as the most radiant bow of Sehanine and the orb of the heavens.
Okay, one more time, say the name. I wrote things and then I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah, no worries. High priest and Farin Silverbrow.
High priest. Oh, priest.
Yes.
I thought it's like, wait, so clothes are always immaculate?
The high priest confirmed this as well.
Yes. So, here's what I would like for you to do. And Smudge takes out one of his daggers and holds it above his left wrist and says, I would very much like for you to tell me what you are doing to these chosen and these children here, or I start slicing.
Manipulate somebody, please. I have to let my dog in.
Can I go why so serious and say, do you want a slice of him?
No!
Fuck, because that was
God damn you. You're so good with this.
So you get a +1.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
Then that brings it up to a 7, thank Christ.
Okay. We do this roll so rarely. Let me see what's up.
Yep. They'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show them that you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do what you ask.
Oh gosh. I'm going to try and be as honest with you as I can. I believe that what we're doing is right, and I wish I could articulate to
Don't
you.
care, what are you doing? And he slices.
Oh! We're trying to save the world is what we're trying to do. We're trying to encourage the apocalypse to...
What are you doing to the children? And he holds the other wrist up with the knife.
And I'm just like trying to hold on to the
Are you catching it?
Yeah.
We'll just put this back in. Oh, goodness. I'm not doing anything to the children. I don't even know what happens to them after they're on the altar.
You cast something over them. What do you cast?
I pray to my God. and she and the tree, they do something, and the children disappear.
Not good enough. I need more. And I slice the other wrist.
I'm now, both hands are sort of like clay manacles to stop the bleeding at this point. Just like, don't bleed to death!
At this point, so I would invoke 2 harm, but we're going to make it 1 harm.
Okay. Okay.
And she's uncomfortably trying to reach out to you. Like, I don't know what. Can you stop?
Only when you do. Tell me what I want to know.
I am not the right person to answer your questions, Smudge.
And I shake Faryad free as close as I can, as much as I can. Hold the dagger up by my throat and say, then who is?
I'm gonna turn into an octopus at this rate!
She stands up, turns her back, takes a deep breath, and then spins around and looks at you. Fuck if I could read this. That
You might
would
want
be-
to hurry. I'm feeling kind of dizzy.
You poor child. That would be the High Priest and Farin Silverbrow. That is who you need to speak with.
Well, fuck, says Smudge, and Thunder faints dead away.
And we'll stop. Oh, dang. All right. We've got 10 minutes.
Holy guacamole.
Let's do a little bit of end of session.
Just leveled. I leveled when I failed that last help out.
I love every moment of it. You are
Did
such a good helper.
we conclude the current mystery?
For the children, yes.
Yeah.
Brought them home. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yay!
Yeah, but we're in the middle of me, with my whole framing. Who framed
We found
Killian
out
Wild.
what that was your dad.
Honestly, yeah, that was something we introduced in episode 1, where it's like, yep, you're being framed. You can't do the guild stuff. And then it was just like, oh no, your dad just doesn't want you to have any autonomy.
I kind of figured. Yeah, I was like,
I don't
this
like
is my
your
dad.
Your dad
Mm.
sucks.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with you on that.
Mhm.
Okay, so sorry. If you get 1 or 2 answers, you get 1 experience. If you get 3 or 4, you get 2 experience. So we need a yes on something else. Did we save somebody from certain death?
Or like the opposite.
I know. I mean, I guess I don't know if the kids count because we kind of counted them. I think last time.
I think
when we,
so, yeah.
So no.
And they were counted in the last time, and they were never actually in any danger today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
No.
we learn something new about the world? New
Oh,
and
yeah.
important?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned a lot.
Yeah, we did.
There's a lot of info.
Yeah. I think that's 3 then. I mean, the last one is, did we learn something new and important about a fellow hunter?
I mean, outside the fact that I like strong women, it ain't much, bro.
I think there were a lot of heart-to-hearts. Like, Faryad was able to
Yeah.
talk about, like, their conception. Yeah, like, Gwen and Killian had a moment where they were kind of talking about their vulnerabilities. Like, this was... We learned...
This is a good RP session. Yeah.
This is what I excel in.
Yeah, I love it.
Never mind
My
combat.
favorite.
So,
Yeah, so everybody
Marcus,
gets 2 experience.
Woo!
nice. I leveled up, and
Yeah, I did
I'm
too.
ready for the next one. I'm on to my 3rd level up.
Oh, I'm only on my 2nd.
1, 2, 3.
I had one session where I was rolling way too well.
Yeah, same. And I need to figure out what am I going to choose for my
know.
3rd thing.
Ooh.
I picked a move already. I might take either another move or I might just try to get some cool points or
We will
toughness.
consider your moves off screen.
Yeah.
On screen, we'll just do a little bit of closing. So thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you for watching. this rather roleplay heavy episode of Who Are the Monsters. Oh, it was so wholesome. Like I loved all the characters so much more, and this is what I needed.
Did we get some feelings going for you?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
good.
much, so much more respect for everyone. Not that there wasn't already some there, but like there's more now.
Yeah.
You know why I'm a degenerate now.
But my name is Bianca Zelda, and you can find me on Twitter as @BiancaZelda. We are going to be, meaning I'm going to be at Gen Con next weekend, so we will not have our session. I mean, y'all are welcome to stream. I can give you all the information, but
You're fine. You are
No, I'm
good. We'll wait.
Yeah.
it'll just be Killian instigating terrible chaos.
That would be hilarious.
It's just a
Killian
whole
won.
backstory. It's not going to be a whole backstory session of like me just either with my terrible experiments or a high school dedicated episode. Like
High school episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like dealing with like our whole
Oh my goodness.
child tribulations.
Teenage,
And we're going to go into depth of your bullying.
Teenage Eledhwen is something I didn't know I needed in my life. But
Oh my god, it'd be so good. High school AU, high school AU.
He's going to be such a preppy boy and it's going to annoy the shit out of me, but I love
I
it.
think it's gonna be fantastic.
So good. Wholesome.
So Devin, where can we find you on the internet or just in the world?
Primarily on Twitter at DonMeGoldenSun. That's where most of my screaming goes.
Loud sounds into the void. Definitely.
Yeah.
Are you working on anything at the moment?
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff lined up actually. I'm planning on buying a domain name, websites and emails. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Ooh.
Squarespace.com.
Did you say MySpace?
No, I said Squarespace.com. I was going to like throw in the whole ad and like
Plugging,
sponsored by.
in every podcast.
I wish, yeah.
No, I think that's excellent. Thank you. Carly, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Carly221B, or you can find me on Instagram at CarlyOB.
And you're not gonna be at Gen Con this year?
No, I'm so sad. I wanted to go so bad. It's from Chicago. It's like only a 5-hour drive. So I was like, maybe I'll just go down for the weekend, but it was just so hard to justify. And I just moved, so I don't have the money for it. And I was just like,
Totally
I
fair.
can't. Yeah.
You justify by breaking in.
It's one of my favorite cons though. So have fun.
I'm excited. I have so few things booked, but it's gonna be great.
That's the best way to do it, honestly.
I think so. Miriam, how about you? Where can we find you online?
I am on Twitter at media_junkie and also the Musafir's podcast. I am the GM and creator, which is an actual play podcast.
You are involved in a lot of things. If you want to take like 60 seconds to plug it, go.
Yeah, I'm in a whole bunch. I'm in a couple of other shows, Emissaries of Eledhwen and Adventures in Agni, which is usually right after this. But we're not having a game tonight, so a little chill. And I'm also part of Welcome to the Party Writers Project and quite a few things. Yeah,
You're just going to sleep.
it's like I could keep going for like a very long time. But yeah, all that information can also be found on my Twitter account.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Norman, sup?
Hi. How you doing?
Where can we find you online?
You can find more of my degeneracy over at Norman Lambert 45 on Twitter. If I plug in my SoundCloud, it'd be just dumb because I don't rap. Although I see.
I was about to get so excited.
No.
Go for it. I
Yeah,
support
do
you
it.
on this.
No, I just find it funny seeing that every time when a tweet blows up, they're always throwing in there like their
By the way,
SoundCloud.
here's
their
my
Instagram.
SoundCloud.
Here's my SoundCloud, yeah.
I'm like, no, thank you. I'm a degenerate. I don't need that level of degeneracy in my life.
Give it time. You'll get there.
Yeah.
And finally, Shannon, thank you so much for joining us. You're absolutely wonderful.
Aww.
I feel like I have to ask you like a fun fact. Do you have any like favorite cities and or country, like states or provinces that you visited?
Ooh, I'm quite fond of Queensland, Australia. just because it's got the Great Barrier Reef, and who doesn't love amazing tropical fishes? But it's also got super scary and amazing crocodiles, which you can stay away from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like that. A little best of both worlds, really.
Scorpions with wings.
Oh dear.
That too.
Excellent. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for another game of Who Are the Monsters. We are on the one. What is my network? We are on the Greyhound.
Oh boy, you about to get fired.
Oh
boy.
We have a wonderful Patreon. You're welcome to join. You're also welcome to join our Discord, where it's just everybody talking about all the games that they love. So, thank you, everyone.
Yay.
I'll do the awkward wave.
Our usual wave until it
Our
ends.
usual wave. Bye bye.
Bye.
Dance a little.
You're good.
Adios.